Now we're live. Hello, everyone. Right, I think
Being to you here from Sleepy Dorset.
Sleepy Dorset, indeed. Yeah, look, just 3:30 or so in the afternoon is just when I hit my midday crash. So yeah, it do be that way. Right. Anyway, hello everyone. How are we all doing?
We are present.
Are we alive?
We are correct.
Yeah. Okay, right. Yes, we are. Yes, good, we are here. I was going to say, I'm waiting for just a reaction from chat that leads me to believe that we're live, but we are. Good. Greetings from Newfoundland.
I don't know what that was, but please do not do it again.
That was my Canadian pronunciation. Sorry, my Quebecois isn't very good. You can make so many people so angry with that joke for multiple reasons.
Not least just reminding them of their existence.
Woo! Anyway, hello everyone, how are we all? Good, yes, greetings Newfoundland. Power nap. Yeah, I will often power nap when I get home from work in the evenings, but mid-afternoon power nap, I don't know, it doesn't work for me. So yeah, don't know.
I can just imagine walking into a shop one afternoon, you sprawled on the sofa asleep, and there being a queue of customers by your bench. Me just being like, I see.
I think that's partly why I wouldn't do it, because I'd have to close the shop and I'd have to pull the curtains and stuff like that, because otherwise I'd just be passed out on the sofa kind of thing. So yeah, it's not worth the hassle. Not worth the hassle. Anyway, we're here, we're live, let's do it. At what point does it become old found land?
Ask New Zealand.
Maybe. Haven't been watching, but is LTT doing a Linux challenge at the moment? Yes, they are. With various mixed results. I won't give commentary. I have been following their tracks because I'm also doing my Linux challenge. I'm sort of roughly keeping track with what their experience is like. Experiment, yeah. In my script, I've called it a Linux adventure. So yeah. No, I think I can't remember if I said journey or adventure. I think I said journey. My Linux journey. It's my
all right, Frodo.
It's my politically correct. Don't trigger the Linux fanboys by calling it a challenge. So yeah. So I've been following the LTT one as well. Not down to the letter, but just broadly speaking, just to see how they're getting on, kind of thing. Because their opinions, their attitude toward it very closely matches my own. Their general approach of just what they deem as acceptable, what they deem as unacceptable. The way that they're approaching, there are certain faults where, let's take for example one of the problems I've run into on my Linux journey is plugged in my Xbox controller. It worked first time. And I'm like, cool, all right, so far so good. Now I want it to be wireless.
Oh, I thought you could say then it didn't work second time.
No. But then I'm like, cool, all right, so now I want it to be wireless. Because I have a wireless Xbox controller, so I want it to be wireless. So I have my Xbox Elite controller. The computer in question has Bluetooth, and it also has an official Microsoft Xbox wireless adapter. So we've got two different methods by which it can be wireless. Can't get either of them to work.
I'm kind of surprised the Bluetooth won't.
Yeah, same. I thought the Bluetooth was going to work, but the official adapter wouldn't. But I've had problems with both. Now, there is some third-party software that I have started looking into to try and get the wireless adapter working. However, apparently it doesn't work very well with the small wireless adapter, which I think is the one that I have. Because I think there was an older one that's a big chunky thing, and I've got the modern slim one.
Your adapter is too small.
Yeah. And so
you must get a bigger adapter for Chad Linux.
So however, whatever. Now so it's currently on my list of this problem can probably be solved if I'm willing to put in like a day of troubleshooting. This is, like, this is not a deal breaker. This is probably solvable, but it's sufficiently difficult that I'm going to pin it and move on and just use my controller with a cable for the time being. And like, if I choose to stay with Linux long term, then I will bother to put in the time to solve that.
Yeah.
However, if I'm not going to stay with Linux, I'm not going to bother putting in the time to solve this.
What's the issue on the Bluetooth?
So the controller will pair.
Yeah.
It appears on a scan, and I click pair, and it pairs, and it says you're connected. It gives me the battery status and all the rest of it. But Steam just doesn't see it. But then weirdly, when I start up a game, some games will come up with the Xbox glyphs on them. So it's almost like it's aware the controller is there. There's just no inputs getting passed to the game. So there's something very strange going on there.
How strange.
Very strange going on there. So yeah, as I say, it's so close. I'm fairly certain that this is a solvable problem. It just requires me to spend another half a day at least of my limited weekends troubleshooting it, and I already put in half a day. And I'm like, after I'd spent half a day working on it, I'm like, you know what? I've got better things to do than fuck about with this, so whatever. So put a pin in that, However, so to go back to what I was saying, about attitude toward the challenge and stuff like that, I gave it a fair shake. Last night I was on VR chat, and again, got more stuff to talk about in a moment. And I was talking about this with some friends, and one of my friends who is also, I don't know if he's dailying Linux, but he at the very least, he is at least a proponent of it, and he was sort of listening in as I was saying how far I'd gotten. You're holding it wrong, yeah. And I said sort of, plugged in my controller, and he was gearing up to be like, no, that's just going to work. And I said, and it did just work, but I wanted it to work wirelessly. And he was like, oh. And I'm like, yeah, that's what I thought. And he was just like, well, it's a Microsoft problem. And I'm like, so I guess I'm going to use Microsoft's operating system then, because it works wirelessly on Windows.
Yeah.
I don't have to spend...
Do you have a PlayStation 5 controller?
No, I do own one actually.
Have you?
Yeah.
Do you have a real one?
Yes, I do have a real one.
Okay.
That's an interesting thought. Yeah, because
I'd be interested to know about that, just because of how much of a faff occasionally it is to get it to work in Windows. If it works insta-magically on Linux, it's a case of, well, actually, if you're a Linux user, you want to buy the PlayStation gamepad.
That's a really interesting thought, and I will bring my PS5 controller home with me tonight, because that's a really interesting thought.
Just because, in the nicest way, your choices for gamepad are Xbox controllers, PlayStation controllers. Yeah. Or you're in the 0.0001% of people who bought someone else's.
Yeah, nothing else is relevant. Anything else that is vaguely relevant is basically pretending to be an Xbox controller. Yeah. And they've just done a slightly different layout, or they use some custom buttons and stuff. Yeah. But it is presenting itself as an Xbox controller.
Yeah.
Or it's presenting itself as a Switch controller. That's not uncommon either. But yeah. 8-bit dough. But that's going to present itself probably as an Xbox controller, isn't it? Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
So
yes. Sorry, I meant that more as not a case of a manufacturer of those items, but as a hardware interface appearance.
Yeah.
It's either going to appear as a PlayStation controller or as an Xbox controller, because basically no one else is relevant.
Yeah.
If Dreamcast had somehow stayed relevant, maybe we'd have seen Sega. Yeah. But
Yeah, that's it. So
boo hoo hoo, my 1999.
Yeah. So at any rate, though, Linus and Luke from LTT, they both have a very similar outlook to this, where they are coming in with a very good faith approach, but also their attitude is, and they're going to try and make things work and all the rest of it. But if you run into a major roadblock, then that's points off, because it does just work in Windows, and it doesn't. And again, my friend on VR chat last night, he was just like, oh, well, that's because Microsoft haven't done this, that, or the other. I'm like, that's not my problem.
Yeah.
That's not my problem.
Like, it's your problem because you own the Microsoft hardware that doesn't do the thing.
Well, where's the Linux controller then?
But
yeah.
by the same token, it's not your issue to solve.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, that's it. However, broadly speaking, though, so yeah, the Linux adventure. Yeah, this week it has been tough because I came up against a couple of things. You know, like trying to get my Xbox controller took a lot of energy out of me last weekend, which was vexing. And then after that, I then spent a lot of time getting VR working with mixed results. I got VR working, however...
That's something.
Yeah. However, I don't have an overlay. And just to explain terminology, overlay means... so if you're, let's say you've loaded up a VR game, so you're in a virtual environment, and your overlay is when you push a button and it comes up with like your Windows desktop. So you can just quickly look at a browser window or do something on your computer without lifting up the headset and going over to your desk, you know, which is obviously a pain in the ass.
Overlays are incredible quality of life.
Yes. Overlay, it's not mission critical, but your experience is going to be extremely diminished without an overlay, especially when you play especially if you spend a lot of time in a social game like VR chat like I do, where it is functionally just a chat room. So yeah, you cannot open your overlay a lot in that because you're chatting to people and you're talking about things and you want to look stuff up that you're talking about.
Can you share stuff with people?
No, there are some convoluted ways, but in VR chat, no, unfortunately not. This is going on a tangent, but that's to do with just safety, because if let's say you're in a public chat room, having someone have the ability to just show you anything is not a good idea. So the game does not allow that to happen. There are other games where you can do this. Resonite can do this. I've seen people on Resonite who have just pulled out a widget from their inventory that just shows their desktop screen. And they can be like, you know, and I'm like, that's cool.
I was about to say, can you do that with your character model somehow? You just have your character model have a texture that points to a hard-coded URL, and you post stuff to your own.
It is technologically possible to do this. However, it is considered not preferable for most games because it is a massive privacy hazard.
Yeah.
So yeah. Hello, Floor Lamp. Anyway, so where was I? So I got VR working, but with no overlay. There is a Linux overlay app. I've forgotten the name of it, and I downloaded that because it had a package for it. Had like this .app format, I think. That's apparently you just double click on it and it works. But I tried to run it and just nothing happens. It appears in like the task manager, so it's doing something, but it's not doing anything. However, again, by this time I'd already spent like half a day getting Wyvern, which was the VR pipeline I'm using, to work, and so I was out of energy. I'm like, I'm not dealing with this for now. So I've got VR with no overlay. However, last night when I went to jump on VR chat for my Friday night VR chat shenanigans, I had also installed SlimeVR for my body tracking, and that they have a Linux app. So I thought that was working, and then I ran into a major roadblock. So my VR pipeline skips SteamVR because SteamVR basically doesn't work in Linux to all intent and purpose at the moment. In that, you know, it launches, but it doesn't detect headsets because exotic pipelines. And SteamVR passes the tracking data SlimeVR passes the body tracking data through SteamVR. So no SteamVR means no body tracking.
Yeah.
And for VR chat, for me, that's a deal breaker.
Yeah.
So last night, as soon as I was putting on all my kit to go into VR chat, and I realized it wasn't going to work, I was like, power off, we're switching computers.
Yeah.
And it was actually like, right, down, Windows computer back up. I'm not missing my Friday night for this.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not, you know, because body tracking is a major part of VR chat for me. Not having that is, once you've had body tracking, you can't go back.
Yeah.
Losing that is just like, oh my gosh, this is awful without it, you know. So yeah.
My limbs.
Yes, so straight away, I need to double check this. I need to go into the SlimeVR Discord and say and say to them, like, you know, you guys, I did think about this, and I think I know what their answer is going to be, and that there is a way where I can get it working. You have to use a system called OSC, which is where you get SlimeVR to send the data directly to my Quest, which then processes the data and passes it back to the game.
Oh,
so that's how I would solve it. So actually, it is solvable. But that's definitely okay, we're putting a pin in that because that's going to be a day's work to.
But also that could be a video in and of itself, because you've already done the other slime videos. Yeah. You could do that as a video and stick them up with the other slime videos.
SlimeVR in Linux, yeah. I'll think about it.
I don't mean that as a part of this, but just kind of because you've already done the other slime videos.
Yeah.
You could do another one that is all of that. Mm-hmm. Just because,
So that's solvable. So this is a solvable problem as well. Then the other thing this week that I ran into that took a lot of energy out of me, but again wasn't a deal breaker, was I'm editing a video on Linux now. So the next BIOS update video, just to answer that question, I'm working on it at the moment. I'm editing that in Kdenlive. That has been a bit of a rough experience. Some of the problems have been understandable. Some of them have been like, however, I haven't hit any deal breakers yet. So for that, my current pipeline is my videos are recorded in a 4K tiled file, which I then transcode out into 1080p streams again. So firstly, I need Handbrake. Handbrake has a Linux app.
Yeah.
So I downloaded that, launched it, and it didn't support any hardware encoding, which obviously for video transcode is like game over, you lose. No, absolutely not. We need hardware encoding for this. That's not up for debate. So, and in order to get Handbrake to work, I did some looking into it, and people were like, "Oh, you're going to need to switch to the AMD proprietary video driver to get that to work." And I was like, okay, I don't want to do that because that's probably going to screw up everything else that's using the AMD drivers like Blender and possibly Steam. It might be so fine. I was like, okay, so I did my transcode on another computer just to get things moving again. I'm like, okay, we'll look into this because I could use FFmpeg, and just do it via command line. I don't want to do that, but I'm sure once I've got some copy pastes of the command lines I need, okay, so I transcoded, loaded up Kdenlive, and I dragged my H.264 video into it, and it said, you can't edit in this because it's a compressed format. And I'm like, Vegas 14 can do that, and that's from the Stone Age, man. Hell, I was editing X264 video on iMovie like 12 years ago. So I know that you're not supposed to do that, but I've always been able to do it.
Yeah.
So, however, it did say, you can't edit this. Would you like to transcode into an edit-friendly format? Also, I'm sorry I'm ignoring chat, but I'm just going through updates and stuff. It did say, would you like to transcode to an edit-friendly format? I was like, okay, do that. So it converted my 7 gigabyte source files into like 70 gigabyte files, and so then I started editing, and I still didn't get smooth video playback. Like it was like sort of 24 FPS kind of thing, and I'm like, okay, I can deal with this. I don't need high quality for editing, so fine. So I'm editing in that at the moment, and then obviously it's been difficult because I'm having to learn a new app, but that's not a Linux thing, that's just learning a different app. And Kdenlive, credit where it's due, although I'm having to learn where things are and learn new shortcut keys, the shortcuts make sense.
That's good, at least.
Like the split clip, that's like Shift-R instead of just S. But I'm like, that's fine. I can do Shift-R. I could probably change the shortcut if I wanted to.
Yeah.
And like the effects pipeline for cropping and resizing things, so like put my face cam in the top left and things like that. That works differently, but like that also makes sense. There is an effects list where you add in a transform effect, and you have a list of those. And I'm like, that makes, if anything, that makes more sense than the way Vegas does it.
Yeah.
It's different, but like I'm like, you know what? It makes sense to just have a stack of effects and you reorder them for what order they're being applied in and stuff like that. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So I'm working on. So that has been difficult, but it's working. So like at the moment, it's been a week where I'm just like, man, I'm kind of ready to just be back on Windows. But also when I stop and think about it, I'm like, okay, but nothing has been a complete deal breaker yet. And also, through this week, I have installed and launched multiple more games, including like recently my friend group has started playing MechWarrior Online, which is like a 10-year-old MechWarrior PvP game that runs on CryEngine. I downloaded it, I clicked play, and it just worked. And so just again, every time I've gone to launch a game, I haven't checked compatibility. I don't even know what the Proton compatibility website is. I've not checked anything. I just hit play, and it just keeps working every time. So like, yeah. So this is the thing, is just, for all the things that are annoying me, there are plenty of things where it is just working. So yeah, like I'm at the point where there are a few things that are problematic and will require big brain to solve, but if I wasn't doing creator stuff or power user stuff, I would not have run into those.
Other than wanting a wireless controller.
Yeah, that's true. The wireless controller thing is kind of like, who knows?
Do your headphones work wirelessly?
Yes, those just work.
Cool.
I've had a couple of issues where it hasn't detected them on startup, and I've had to unplug and plug in the adapter again. That seems to be an intermittent fault that just happens sometimes. However, that hasn't happened enough to bother me. And same thing, like my microphone. My condenser microphone for streaming. There's been a couple of times where I've had to replug that a couple of times for it to start working. So there's
frustrating, but
yeah, there's also a slight annoyance I have with audio inputs and outputs where there is no way of hiding unused inputs, because in Windows you can just disable an input or an output and it will just hide it from the list.
Yeah,
can't do that. So my list of inputs and outputs is that long because it's got 3 monitors, 2 microphones, multiple other line outs, because my microphone has got a line out on it. So I have to select from a list this big when I'm trying to select which input or output I want to use. Whereas on Windows, I have everything that is not the ones that I use disabled. So my list is that long, So there's some minor things, but also I'm sure there's a way of solving that, So yeah. Anyway, so
I'm sure also there's some reasonably easy terminal commands you could run to actually disable it, and then it wouldn't appear on the list, like hardware disable, effectively.
Yeah.
Same as doing through like device mangler.
Yeah, that's it. So yeah. So that's the Linux update. It's going okay. This week, where I'd run into some issues, I had found myself thinking, I wonder if I'd still be having these issues if I'd picked a trendy one like Kashi or Bazite or something like that. However, also sitting down and thinking about it, and also again having spoken to people last night about it, I've thought the problems that I'm actually facing, I don't think any of these are actual distro problems, because again, when I spoke to my friend about what I thought, the wireless Xbox control, I'm like, oh, surely the trendy gaming ones like Pop, Kashi, and Bazite, surely they've solved that and they've got a pre-set up thing. And my friend was like, no, they haven't. And I'm like, oh. Okay, so, So I don't think I think the actual problems I'm facing are not distro problems. So, yeah. So, because I was thinking this weekend maybe I switch to a different distro and do it all again and see how my experience changes with a different distro. So
I think it'd be interesting to see what it'd be like if you went, right, I'm now using the gaming one kind of thing.
Yeah.
Is all of my stuff broken kind of thing?
Well,
did I pick right by picking Mint?
Yeah, that's
or actually does it not matter with this hardware combo?
Yeah, I think what I need to do is this weekend, I think I need to do my hardware swaps, which is basically just graphics cards. I'm going to try swapping in an NVIDIA graphics card I'm going to swap in an NVIDIA graphics card and see what happens, basically. And so I need to do that, see what that's like on Mint. And then I think after that, yeah, I need to install probably Cache, because my understanding is Bazzite is very much geared for handhelds.
Oh, interesting.
Is what I'm hearing. So yeah, so I need to. I'm probably going to swap to Cache, see how that goes, and see if that changes any of my outlook at all, having tried a different distro. So I can say, well, I tried one of the trendy distros, and yeah, actually it did solve a couple of my problems. Or I can swap to another one and say, I swapped to another distro. Yeah, it looks a bit more flash, it looks a bit more trendy, but it didn't actually solve any of the problems that I was having. So no, I don't think the distro actually matters, no matter how much Linux evangelists will yap at you. Because when I went on VR chat last night, when my friend who was interested said sort of, oh, what distro are you running? I said, I'm running Mint. He was like, why did you choose Mint? I'm like, oh, here we go.
Why did you choose Mint? We're in VR chat. You should have been using Arch.
Well, I said,
and got your programmer socks out.
And I said, all right, which one should I choose then? He said, I would choose Pop. And I'm like, that's not a popular one right now. Which I was really fascinated by the fact that he said Pop OS, because I was expecting him to say Cache or Bazzite, and he's just like, you should use Pop OS. And I'm
System
like,
76 are doing a good job.
Yeah, see, I'll take you. Pop is unstable at the moment. There's no right answer. This is an unwinnable fight. Unwinnable. Absolutely unwinnable.
It's okay.
Yeah. Discussions about Linux descend into a purity test. You can't win. Yeah, exactly that. So, yeah.
I can't remember what the other version's called.
All right. So basically, past all of this, okay, I'm going to start paying attention to chat now. Are you abandoning, or have you abandoned Discord? No and no. I'm pissed off with Discord. I've cancelled Discord Nitro, and they will not be seeing enough. I was paying for Discord Nitro because I use Discord all day, every day, and I felt that was worthy of paying for their service. So I had Discord Nitro. I've cancelled that. They will not be seeing a penny from me again until I see a reasonable improvement to their forward momentum. They have backed down from using Persona. However, I will not. I'm going to wait and see what their age verification actually ends up being. When I see what that turns out to be, then I will decide whether I'm willing to start paying for their services again. So yes.
I was trying to remember the name of this.
Ubuntu, yeah.
I was like, to really start the fire going, you just say, no, I'm using Ubuntu.
Mm-hmm. So yes. Try using PavView control to hide audio inputs and outputs. Trying to think if I've seen that one before, because I did Google it, and someone said try using this or the other, but I can't remember it. Can't remember if I tried that one or not. But yeah. All right. So yeah, that's so at any rate, yeah, that's where we're up to with Linux. There's I'm still working on yeah, still going through things. There's still a lot of testing to do. As things stand, so because obviously the big question that sits at the forefront of my brain is still like, am I going to try and make the switch long term? Am I going to try and make everything work, or am I just going to be a Linux tourist, use it for a couple of weeks? Because like at the point I'm up to, I could just like do one or two more tests just to round it out, like graphics card swaps, and then say, all right, this has been a Linux tourism event. I have I've run Linux for a week. I've learnt or a week or two. I've learnt a lot about it compared to what I had before. My opinion of it has gone up significantly. It has come a very long way. There's a lot about it that really works so well. However, I'm not ready to make the switch because of a couple of things that I do that are just super awkward in Linux still, and I'm not interested in solving. And also, Windows hasn't angered me enough to make me leave it yet. I have opinions about Windows and the direction of Windows, but it hasn't actually done anything to anger me yet. However, when that happens, I will be a lot more prepared to jump from the ship. If I have to jump off the Windows ship, I've at least spotted where I'm going to jump to, you know.
Yeah.
But so that's currently where I'm at. But also, you know, some of these problems, I'm like, you know what? If I really wanted to, I could solve these. You know, if I really wanted to, I could solve these problems. So, and yeah, I don't know. I'm not decided yet. You wuss. All right. Do you know how to get? Well, I'm not. I know how to get SlimeVR to work now, I guess. But can you make my Xbox controller work wirelessly? Serious question. So yeah.
Yes.
Can't you dual boot? No, there's no point. There's no point in dual booting. Like, why would I bother dual booting when I could just run Windows? This is the argument I've had for people who say who want to dual boot their Macs. I'm just like, if you need Windows, then just run Windows. You know, just switching back and forth is just a waste of your time. You know, just pick the one that actually works for you.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah. That USB one dongle works just right away with Kali. Do you mean the Xbox controller slim wireless adapter? I'd give up both Windows and Linux for an AI OS that generates my desktop on the fly from hallucinations. Outstanding. That's a fever dream, yeah.
Am I having the fever dream, or is my computer having the
Buy a
fever
USB
dream?
dongle for the Xbox controller. I've already got one, and it doesn't work. I have the official Microsoft one. I have the one that gives the maximum performance for Windows. So yeah.
Over over the Microsoft wireless adapter,
Yeah.
can you use the remapping in the Xbox accessories app, or is that literally only wired?
Yeah, that's still wired only, which boggles my tiny brain. So yeah, don't get me wrong, the Microsoft wireless... Here's the wacky thing. Do you want to know what the Microsoft Xbox wireless adapter appears as?
As an Xbox 360 controller?
No.
Okay.
A Wi-Fi adapter. I can connect to Wi-Fi networks through it. Yeah,
that makes sense.
Which kind of makes sense when you think about it,
because
it's an 802.11 2.4 gigahertz adapter. You know, so it kind of makes sense, and you can understand why Linux is just like, what are you doing? You know. However, that still doesn't solve my problem. So yeah, I mean the USB dongle you use for monitoring 2.4 gigahertz traffic. Moving on. Okay, irrelevant. Moving on. So yeah, so sirens. So yeah. Yeah, so yeah, that's where I'm up to. Oh yeah, I haven't tried making Google Drive work yet either.
Also, does high refresh work on both monitors?
Yes.
Ah, that's good.
Yeah, I haven't got variable refresh rate, but I also haven't tried because, hot take, I don't care about variable refresh rate.
That's because you're wrong, and it's okay.
I pick a frame rate that I can actually hit and just aim for that. And sometimes, you know, like I'm aiming for 120 or 144 hertz, depending on whether, you know, like if I can't make it to 144, then I'll target 120 kind of thing. But like if my monitor's refresh rate is set to 144 hertz, which is where I set it to. If I can't hit that, I set my FPS limiter to like 120 and I don't get tearing, you know. So or at least I don't see any tearing or anything like that. So I find the trick is just actually just targeting frame rates you can actually achieve. I get the appeal of variable refresh rate.
Yeah, it takes like 4 frames of latency out of the cycle.
Okay, yeah, fair. Yeah, maybe.
That's why.
It's never been anything that particularly bothers me.
And given that I can actually see the difference because I'm on an OLED,
Yeah, that might matter. Yeah.
that's why I care, because it was just the fact of going between frame rate limited and then just VRRing it again and just being like, oh no,
Yeah.
I'm one of them. I can see the difference.
Yeah. So,
But yes,
yeah, we'll see.
apparently we have things to fix.
We do have things to fix. So yeah, we'll start fixing that while we chat. Yeah. So yes.
It's fine.
but yeah.
I have started my Mac gaming challenge.
I see. Are you serious, or like, is this a bit, or are you actually like?
Only in as much as because I'm going on long flights, and I was just like, oh, I wonder what games are natively supported on Apple Silicon. I play that. I play that.
Yeah.
So I've installed both of the top two things.
Yeah, fair enough. When I tried to game on Mac, when I went on holiday last August, I found there are a couple of games, like if there is some Mac compatibility, then it does just work.
Yeah.
But certainly there was a lot of stuff where it was just like, where just computer says no.
Yeah. It was more a case of I was looking at Apple Silicon
Yeah.
only.
Yes. Oh, I see.
So
yeah.
stuff that was native only.
Yeah.
And just being like, what native only stuff is there that I've actually played?
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, Baldur's Gate is native only.
Oh yeah, that's
Holy
cool.
shit,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
cool. Oh look, Balloon's Tower Defense is native. Nice. I play an ungodly number of hours of that at times.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah.
Excellent. I am sorted for obnoxious amounts of flying.
Yes.
Fantastic. And because it's an Apple Silicon Mac, I need a 240 watt USB-C adapter for infinite battery life.
Yeah. Yeah. So Apple game. It does work in. It works in some areas.
However, it's
yeah.
also the case of expect 30 FPS in everything, even if you have an Ultra, because the graphics card just apparently isn't actually fast for gaming.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I just haven't tried to do anything strenuous. I have to admit, when I've gamed on my on a MacBook Air, I was playing indie games like when I went to Bulgaria, I was playing a lot of Cobalt Core, which is it's equivalent to Slay the Spire. So this is just effectively
that card game
yeah,
thing.
deck builder.
Yes.
Yeah,
yeah, I remember that.
So for that, like, I think it was running at 60 FPS, but also like it's practically a 2D game, so there's sort of no expectation of high performance there. So yeah, I guess. Yeah, certainly though, like in Linux, like I said, I'm gonna keep repeating this because it is the bit that I think is worthy of the most praise. Is once again, I have not run into a single game that did not just work in Linux. I'm sure if I keep looking, I'll find something. And also, of course,
that is also on the proviso of it doesn't require anything for multiplayer.
Yeah, I was about to say, well, I've played multiplayer games. It doesn't require any strict anti-cheat software.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's going to be some PvP games where it's just like, no, you need kernel level anti-cheat. But also, like, I don't play any of those games, so yeah. But also, like, if you do, there's gonna be people out there that have looked into this already, so like I don't really care to investigate that.
No.
Yeah,
it was just a case of obviously your use
worth
case.
mentioning. Yeah.
Obviously, if you are top 50 in the world in Valorant and you go, my Linux challenge, oh, I'm unemployed.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's
right.
What's the thing? Giving a thing its worth. What is that actual phrase? Giving
a job its worth.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's kind of, yeah.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Do not try and get your toaster to bake a cake.
Yeah, and also like in terms of a couple of people mentioning about, like, oh, the state of Windows at the moment and stuff like that. Yeah, as I say, Windows hasn't specifically angered me yet. However, it's certainly, I do think Windows has gotten significantly worse over the past year. Like, I think Windows 11, it had a sweet spot. At the time when I installed Windows 11, like 18 months ago maybe, I thought Windows 11 seemed to be in a pretty good place. However, over the past year, Microsoft, I think they really have just, whether it's just vibe coding or what, I don't know, but I think the actual like quality of updates and stuff like that really has gone down. So while the operating system hasn't majorly angered me yet, the direction it's heading in is all bad, so yeah. All right, just to quickly update on what we're doing here firstly. So this computer, this is a simple gaming rig. This is a simple gaming rig that I built. This is at some point last year. So this is just a simple AM4 thing with what is probably a 6800 in it, 6700 XT.
Yeah.
Cheap gaming PC. So yeah, a customer brought in. Apparently, there's no output to the monitor. So yeah, we're going to find out what that does now. So I'm going to turn it on, see if we get output to the monitor. So let's see what it does.
Were they plugged into the onboard?
I didn't check. Don't worry, this isn't the only computer we've got to fix. So if this just works and it's a no fault found, then we will not be completely stuck.
Have you worked out why that monitor randomly seems to not work?
It's been working. So yeah. Also, everyone's complaining about the size of the cooler on it, but like this thing probably has a 5600X in it. So it's like, who cares? Spoilers, small air coolers are kind of fine unless you're actually running a big CPU. Right, do we have any LEDs or anything on this? No, and I'm not seeing any output to the monitor, so I'm guessing that's a no. So I guess we'll start having a look into this.
Yeah.
Whoop. Minimum 4 pipe is the norm. 2 though, well, it doesn't overheat. So what's the problem?
And like it was like £11 or something,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
This is the problem. Everyone's like, oh, minimum of this. It's like, but it works. What's the problem?
Yeah.
It doesn't overheat. What's the problem? Next question. Who cares? Like, sure, if you want to put a big CPU in there, you're going to need a bigger air cooler. But like small CPUs don't require, like that's the funny thing. The other computer that we've got to work on over there has an Intel stock blower on it. And obviously like that's the punching bag of everyone. But also it's a 10500F. It's a 65 watt CPU. It doesn't care. I was running stress tests on it earlier on in the week and it was maxing out at like mid 70s. Because it's a 65 watt CPU.
But also, was it like mid 80s decibels?
Yeah, it was a bit loud. Yeah.
Okay.
But again, like in terms of actual cooling performance, it's 65 watts. Who cares?
Yeah.
I could put my thumb on it and cool that, So, what RAM is that? Some DDR4 stuff. All right. That certainly looks like it's doing nothing. I'm going to quickly grab I'm going to get a beep speaker and just see if it beeps, just so we know whether it's actually posting and whether our rig is messing us about or not.
Did you find the 1060?
No, that's still missing in action. It'll show up at some point. I've got other graphics cards we can put in for testing if needs be. I'd be very sad if it turns out to be a graphics card problem, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there, I guess. Right, speaker is there. I'm going to assume that it's positive toward the back of the case. Right, and I guess I'll just do it again. Go. Ba-da-ba-ba. Okay.
Boom, 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 boom.
Oh God, Mike Jones, stop with the AI stuff. Yeah, like that's actively destroying everything right now, but whatever.
The answer is no.
Yeah.
There is a...
Oh, there we go, there's a
Oh.
beep. It beeped. And does the monitor come on? Oh, has it started this time? Well, the monitor has just come up with no video input, so it's done something. Enter sleep mode. Oh, okay, it power cycled, it just beeped again.
And it's...
Okay, yeah, we're booting. Yeah. Right, what was that all about then? That felt like it did a BIOS reset. We've also posted at low resolution. We've also booted at low resolution. Right, the good news is I'm just going to wait a moment longer just to see if Discord pops up or anything like that. But we've got hidden desktop icons here, so we can actually... Yeah, Discord is going to load, but it doesn't have an internet connection, so that's fine. Okay. Right, I'm going to reboot this into... Oh yeah, no, it will come up with stuff. I'm just going to reboot this into BIOS. BIOS battery voltage. Yeah, maybe. I'm going to start going through and checking these things at the moment. I'm going to drop into the BIOS and just see if BIOS has been reset, because it might be that it's thrown a hissy fit, and after giving it a couple of reboots, that's what's made it come good. Because like often the customer will often give up after it doesn't work the first or second time, and it sometimes when stuff comes in and it turns out to be a no fault found, it's because you were that one more reboot that it needed to come good. So yeah. Right, yeah, BIOS has been reset because oh actually maybe I just put potato RAM in this. I'm gonna need to check. I'm gonna stick my head in front of it. No, it's got 3200 in it. And we're not in XMP, so yeah, BIOS has reset. What's the time?
8th of a second.
Yeah, the date is wrong, but it's not a million miles wrong.
Yeah.
It's one of those strange kind of wrongs where it's just like, you haven't reset to factory default, but you're wrong.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So we shall see. Okay, let's check the BIOS battery super quick.
B450M HDVR 4.0 P1010. That's... Oh, I see, that's the BIOS version. I thought that was the motherboard version. I was like, oh my god, who named this thing? ASRock, please!
ASRock, more like ASRock. Oh, got 'em. Right, can I put that somewhere where it does not catch the light? There we go.
I'm going to out of studio mode. It's no longer required.
Yeah, BIOS battery is low. That's not devastating. I'm kind of surprised if that's enough to cause random BIOS resets. It's low enough that it's worth replacing.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of surprised if that has caused a problem. So, bit weird. Okay, I guess I'll turn it off and we'll put a new BIOS battery in it.
Hold on, turn it off.
Yeah.
Wait 20 seconds.
Okay.
See if it turns back on.
Sure.
Because we haven't actually fixed anything yet. If that makes sense. Like was it last week or 2 weeks ago? With that one where we just turned it on and off like 4 times and then it turned on. And then you went, oh, actually, I needed to replace this thing on the motherboard. I can't remember what it was. Because
yeah, it was missing the BIOS jumper.
Yeah.
Which was causing it to reset.
Oh yeah, that's what it was. Yeah.
Yep.
What?
What have you spotted?
Some people suggest storing the TPM in the fridge if it's warm where you are. Store the TPM inside your computer? What?
Oh, he's talking about thermal pad stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. not a TPM module.
I was just like...
You have to refrigerate your TPM module, otherwise your BitLocker will fail. So yeah. PTM. That's the stuff. Yeah.
I would, yes.
Yeah.
I'm very confused by that. It's like I don't follow. Oh.
God. Mike Jones, I appreciate your enthusiasm toward this, but after 2 years of this AI nonsense, that's not how any of this is shaking out at all. And all evidence shows that it will never get to that point. We are so deep into diminishing returns and it doesn't work. So it's right now, without a massive paradigm shift in AI that no one has any idea what will look like, because no one has any idea what it is because it hasn't been invented yet, that is 100% a pipe dream. 100%. So yeah, it's also just, again, you also have to remember that like the other thing that just makes all of this a non-starter is like right now, as things currently stand, the AI industry is sucking up unfathomable amounts of natural resources and energy. And this is before mass adoption. Let's pretend that the AI bros pipe dream of a AI-powered PC, where the AI is doing everything, creating everything for you on the fly. Let's pretend that dream comes true and that's what everyone is running. How many data centers and how many power stations do you think that's going to need? It doesn't work. There's no planet where it will work. It cannot be done. That's why AI cannot work in its current form. Like, that's just one of the reasons why I reject the current AI industry in its entirety. There is a world where there are some useful parts. The concept of what LLMs do is interesting and has some uses for small modules trained to do specific things. But the problem is that the industry as it is currently presented to us is awful in so many ways that right now we must reject it in its entirety and say, be gone, bozo. Do not return until you have completely rethought your approach, because what we've got right now is absolutely unacceptable, 100% unacceptable.
Right,
and anyone who is still believing that the current AI, that Copilot, Copilot, Claude, Gemini, or any of these mainstream ones, that any of them are going to be viable in the future, that are still on board with that, is complicit in all of the problems that they are creating, including right now the current state of trying to buy components. Anyone who is still using these products whilst also looking at the cost of RAM and the spiraling costs of storage is basically just using the thing that is hurting them. They are just drinking the poison, believing that it's going to get better. It's just, that is why I must reject it in all forms. So like, and the reason why I have this rant is just to make sure that people understand that I am not available to be persuaded on this. I will not be convinced otherwise. Someone in the latest BIOS video they made a comment that was words to the effect of, AI suggested video, for AI inspired video for the algorithm and clicks. Smart idea. And I had to bite my tongue to not tear them to shreds about how offended I was by that comment, that they had suggested that I had used AI to plan the BIOS video. Fuck you. That was me. That was all me. How dare you? So I bit my tongue and gave a polite response saying words to the effect of, I dislike all of this, and no, I didn't. Good day, sir. You know. So, yeah. That's where I'm at on AI right now, people. Get out of here. I am not interested. I'm not interested. I'm so not interested. Anyway. What will we do with this again?
Turning it on.
Okay, we have waited 20 seconds.
So, in the list of messages you expect to appear popping up after a string of your phone going, hi, I need your attention. Hello, okay. Hello, I've gone through D&D now.
Oh,
is,
right, yeah.
Hi, I've landed in Oman.
I see.
And I'm just like, okay.
Needed to know that. Yep.
Well, it's more the fact of, why are you there? There's
Yeah.
kind of a bit of a incident occurring. Why are you there?
Look, the United States has a right to defend itself. So this thing posted and booted up really quick this time. So
Why do they have TikTok on their taskbar?
because child,
Ah,
because brain rot.
remove them from the internet.
So
Apparently
yeah,
it worked.
yeah. So okay. So it was. So the first time we tried it, it didn't work. Well, the first time we tried it, we didn't get a screen, but we weren't sure if it had posted or not. The second time, it took a while, but then it started. This time round, it started first time. So it definitely did a BIOS reset and memory train,
Yeah.
which is why it took a while. Now it has sorted itself out. So it looks like it has just randomly done a BIOS reset and needed a couple of restarts to straighten itself out.
What is the green flashing light somewhere here?
The SSD has an activity light on it.
Okay.
So yeah, it's got a FICWAT in it. So yeah.
That's got an activity light. That's kind of neat.
Yeah, I kind of like activity lights on I mean, I don't know about. I don't know.
We need more activity lights on things.
Blinking lights.
We
I
need more
support
blinking
this.
lights.
Yeah. All right. This is working. It's done a BIOS reset. I think I'm going to put. Yeah, it's just gone to sleep. Yeah. I think I'm going to put a new BIOS battery in it and call that a win.
It was.
Right, you're just taking ages to come out. Oh, don't be like that. Don't. Ah. Pain. What if I unplug and plug in the keyboard and mouse again?
Is the keyboard on?
Oh, it rebooted and now it's beeping. Oh, that's a bit weird. What was that all about? Huh.
No GPU?
Oh, yeah. Do you reckon the graphics card is flaky? Maybe it's started working because the graphics card warmed up slightly, so it started posting, but it's not all there.
Don't know, but yeah.
So, okay.
Because it definitely posted.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like it was fine.
There.
It's also worth noting that when it has booted up, it's booted up at low resolution,
Yeah.
which is concerning.
Yeah.
I'm going to get a different graphics card for this, and we're just going. I think what we're going to do is we're going to. Yeah, let's just turn that off. I'm going to grab a different graphics card, and we'll just see if it works all a-okay with a different GPU in it, and then we'll put this one back in and see if all of the problems come back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This doesn't have like a 40-watt power supply or anything stupid, does it?
I'm not sure what it's got a Corsair power supply in it. It might be a small power supply. Let me have a look.
Face cam. Oh, we're still in studio mode. Face cam! Action shot!
It's got a CX550 in it,
Oh, yeah.
so that should be fine.
Indeed.
I'll put that back on for the sake of... Oh, no. Okay, there we go.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
I agree. Stop escaping.
Right. Was this GPU tempered? It has not been plunged into cold water after being heated to 1,000 degrees. No. Huh. As to whether it's been tampered with, which I think is what you were going for, don't know. This this graphics card is in rough shape. It was a second-hand GPU, and it was a bit beaten up when I got it. I've cleaned it up as best I can, but yeah, it's been in the wars, this graphics card. Anyway, I'm going to grab something else. Oh, I'm going to have to get the 3060 out of that other machine. I don't really want to do that because I've just fixed that other computer after it was sulking, but the 1060 is still missing in action. Yeah, okay. I'm going to go get that. What has happened to the 1060? It'll show up at some point, I'm sure. Right, okay. I need to turn off this computer over here and steal its graphics card. Oop. I need a screwdriver over here. We'll be back momentarily, folks. Sure, a reseat will do it. Maybe. Yeah, this feels like... Yeah, I don't know. I'm a bit worried about the graphics card, so yeah, as I say, I think I want to put a different graphics card in it, just see that the rest of the computer works, because if we put a different graphics card in it and everything works as normal, then we can fairly confidently sort of say, okay, this platform works, we can ignore that, and then we can just say any strange behavior can be attributed to the graphics card at that point.
It's okay, you can give them a 980.
I could.
My size 980.
Okay, right, that'll do. Power. Right.
That looks like the cheapest 3060.
Probably. It was cheap on eBay, so yeah.
This is good. Is it a 12 gig or megabyte version?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, it's the only one that's worth getting. But 3060 12 gig, yep, still worth, you know, well, I class it as the minimum viable.
Because it's 12 gig.
Yeah. Okay, right, same thing happened. We got to the login screen and we had a picture and then it disappeared. Okay, we're back. It was installing a graphics driver.
It was actually able to install a graphics driver.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Oh, that's interesting. It loaded up some cyberpunk thing, which looks like it might be a live background or something. What are you loading? What is opening up? Maybe there's no hardware issue here and the kids just trashed this with junk software. That's why it's being pissy. But then no, it restarted and stuff like that. So that should
maybe
okay.
maybe this crashed.
Right, what is opened here? What am I looking at? Lively wallpaper, okay, and wallpaper alive. So there's probably two different apps that are fighting to set a animated wallpaper background. Turn off wallpaper, okay, and exit. All right, this computer is working, and it is behaving as expected, and we have. Has it got a driver? If so, we'll just quickly throw like superposition at it or something like that as a confidence test. Right, device manager. Do I need to download drivers? No, it has a basic driver. Cool. Okay, right. I'm going to close that. Let's quit Discord. And if I open that, does that... Oh, it does show customer data. Annoying. Okay, right. I'll just get superposition loaded up and we'll just quickly superposition it. And we can, once that's open, we can just look at that. We can let that run just to confidence test the platform. Oh, my SSD is here.
You are an SSD.
Yeah. Then I think we'll just switch straight back to the other graphics card and just see if it starts having kittens again.
Terrible.
Did you see the video about DeBauer being Scrooged and stuff? I've seen it doing the rounds, but I don't know much about it. I guess he just... like, I'm guessing the TLDR is he bought some materials and got had.
Basically, he bought metals from 2 different metal suppliers, and both metal suppliers intentionally defrauded him
Oh, that sucks.
by supplying in the crate, at the top of the crate, the goods ordered. Then the next level of crate being cheap metal
Yeah.
plated in what was being ordered,
Yeah.
and then the bottom layer just being like blocks.
Scrap. Yeah.
And
From two different places?
Yeah, 2
Wow.
different suppliers intentionally,
So I take it.
intentionally defrauded him.
Yeah. So I take it the video is actually more about the fact of like the industry is kind of awful at the moment.
Yeah, and just the
it
fact
seems.
of 2 separate suppliers
Yeah, exactly.
intentionally defrauded. It wasn't like they sent the wrong grade of copper.
Yeah.
You know, he ordered 99.9 and they sent 98.
Yeah, I mean the fact that they had like layers of fake stuff, kind of thing. You don't do that accidentally.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
This is 16 petabyte flash drive from AliExpress levels of defrauding, kind of thing. You know, this is extremely deliberate. You know. Menu shortcuts. Right. Install.
Yeah.
Right, as soon as this is up and running, we'll throw up a capture, and then you guys can watch superposition run through while we natter. Those wallpaper apps are known to add extra stuff like spyware and stuff. Wouldn't surprise me, yeah.
Oh.
But have you just crashed?
Yes.
Yes, it has. Okay.
What CPU's this got?
5600. I
Oh,
think.
yeah.
Yeah. Cool as cold.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think of quote unquote known issues.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because like obviously if this was a 5600G, we'd be going, oh, it's degraded.
Yeah.
Whack.
I mean, non-G, yeah, it could
Yeah,
be.
but they're completely different CPUs.
They can still degrade, though.
Sure, but
Yeah.
like they are completely different CPUs.
Yes. If it was a G, then we would immediately say it's probably dead. Yeah.
Yeah.
For a non-G to be degraded, that's less. That's certainly uncommon, but
Yeah.
it's also not unheard of. So, yeah. And also, like that just hard freeze that we're seeing now, where it has
Yeah.
just hard frozen with a picture on the screen, that definitely would be in keeping with a degraded CPU. The weird posting issues and stuff, not so much. So, which is why I hadn't jumped to this beforehand, but that definitely smells of it. Okay, let's. I'm just gonna fire up memtest. All right, first I'm gonna pull out the customer's SSD so we can start doing capture.
Yes.
I need a smaller.
I'm going to use an appropriately scribed screwdriver, sized screwdriver.
I'll just get this pipe wrench to remove a Phillips 00 screw.
Bluff.
Right, you can go over there.
If there is no circuit board.
Right, I'm just going to grab. There it is. Thank you.
Didn't you say you also had a laptop to look at?
I have some laptops kicking around.
Okay,
here,
only because you said, "Oh, I set the camera up to
oh
look at a
right, yeah.
laptop."
I've got a MacBook that needs a case swap on it.
Oh, I
so
see.
yeah.
Okay.
But
It was
so
only
yeah,
because if we were leaving this to memtest, that's 20 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
We could put it on the floor and
possibly.
look at something else.
Let's just fire it up and see what it does first. I'm probably only going to give memtest like 60 seconds because memtest isn't a valid test for CPU degradation. The way to spot CPU degradation is the computer needs to idle, because what happens is that when the computer is doing work and the voltage is normal, it's fine, but when it idles and the voltage drops, the CPU freezes up. So CPU degradation won't appear on any benchmark because you're loading the CPU down. CPU degradation appears when the CPU idles. So it's the opposite way around. You need to actually idle the computer to reproduce the fault. So this is
Or at least the one on the AMD.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. This is very much more of just a sanity check, because if it you know, if we fire this up and it starts vomiting errors at us in the first minute or two of the test, we can be like, okay, right, there's something there, you know.
Yeah.
But the other thing as well is like this does show us temperatures. As you can see, our CPU is sitting at 36 degrees at the moment, so no, it's not the paste.
Yeah.
So yeah. Checked PSU voltage rails yet? No. Yeah, PSU, absolutely possible. That could cause weird stability issues. So yeah, we haven't done that yet, but that would be a suspect for these symptoms. Another SSD.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll grab a different SSD in a minute as well, just so we can boot into a different Windows install. And yeah, that again will be a good test because that allows us to eliminate the possibility that it's software. I don't think it is, because other than those wallpaper apps, I didn't see anything else screamingly awful on that. It was just mainly that there were 2 wallpaper apps that were probably fighting over who gets to set the wallpaper. Both of them probably eating 30% of the CPU at idle.
For some reason, it's really slow. 100% CPU usage because of your RGB software.
How do you know which program is on which flash drive? That is why all of my flash drives have novelty lanyards on them. So this is Gigi the cat from Kiki's delivery service.
There you go.
Says Caradog, looking for the correct thing. Oh yeah, yeah.
I went to Facecam, so it was full screen.
Then some of them, as a test, I ordered a lanyard from eBay where you could have any writing you want on it, and so I got one that just says Windows 11 on it. So that's my Windows 11 one. Then this Vive lanyard, that's MacOS. Then like the Equestria Girls one that pops up now and then, that one was my Windows 11 flash drive before I got this. And just, yeah, basically I have novelty lanyards on everything. And so that's how I remember which one is which, because, yeah, for the past 15 years, Gigi the cat has been Memtest. So yeah.
You've had that lanyard for 15 years?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I've got other lanyards that I think I might have had for longer. Yeah, like my, I've still got my heckin'
well, it's also just the fact of I'm impressed it's so clean and not frayed.
Yeah, well, mainly because it hangs on the wall and then it gets plugged in. You know, it doesn't hang around my neck or get put or carry. Yeah. It's not an everyday carry.
No. But just obviously existing for 15 years, you expect it to kind of touch stuff and get moved around, and you handle it and so on. I'm just like, it could be a couple of weeks old.
Yeah. All right.
There are not a wall of errors.
There are not. Just a basic check, reseat the CPU, bad contacts and stuff. Maybe. We'll get to that in a moment. We'll try and narrow it down a bit further first. And also just like, yeah. Right, yeah, this is not vomiting errors. I'm going to grab another...
Where's the CPU temperature? Oh, there.
Yeah. Right, this should have a basic Windows install on it.
If not, there is the Ghost Spectre one just on the freezer.
Yeah. This one should just be vanilla Windows. So yeah, let's turn it off and drop that in.
Pew.
Right, unplug that. And... But yeah, putting all your flash drives on novelty lanyards is a excellent idea that I recommend to everyone, because A, it makes it easy to remember what's on what, and B, you don't leave your flash drives in people's PCs when there's a lanyard hanging off the back, which is why, like for example, the wireless doodad for the for this keyboard and mouse is on a lanyard. Not because I carry this around, but it's because I lost about 5 of these before I started putting lanyards on them, because I just kept leaving them in the back of the customer PC. And so now there's lanyards on them, so it is impossible to hand the PC back to the customer and not see a lanyard hanging out the back of it. And also, of course, you can hang them on walls, so it just makes storage nice and easy. Right, that's all fine. Power on. Power on. All right, so we're expecting this to boot up. We're expecting it to boot into Windows. Let's see how it does. Sapphire says, hello, I'm a developer at SlimeVR, Monado, and a Wyvern contributor. A SlimeVR contributor linked to the live stream since you mentioned issues of SlimeVR and Linux early in the stream. Oh, yeah. Hello there. Yes. I haven't done any major troubleshooting on it yet. However, just for posterity, this isn't posting, so, you know, that's cool. I think we're going to swap the CPU out in a minute. So yeah, just for posterity, just to quickly, I'm not going to go through troubleshooting this on stream because it's kind of off topic. However, just to quickly summarize where I'm up to, I'm running Linux Mint, I've installed Wyvern, I have a Quest 3, and I have DIY slimes. I have downloaded the SlimeVR app and it sees my slimes. However, because I don't have SteamVR as part of my pipeline, there's no way of SlimeVR getting the tracking data to the game. My current theory is that I need to use OSC instead and have SlimeVR on Linux send the data to OSC on the headset. That was my thought on how to solve this, but I haven't done that yet, but that's where I'm up to. Internet cookies to anyone in the chat who has any idea what any of that meant. So yes. Hello. How years you work tech? I mean, I've been tinkering with PCs since I was probably 13, 14. Professionally, since I left college, which was around 2003. So yeah, this is not posting.
Since my Xbox said, hey, do you want to move to another town?
Inside joke. That's not funny to anyone else except us. We've got SlimeVR integration in upstream Wyvern ready. So it should work out of the box. You can just ignore the warning about SteamVR. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Is there any like things I have to turn? If you've got issues with it, you can tell it's working. You can detect Wyvern. You can see head and hands appear in SlimeVR. Okay. I'll have a closer look at this over the weekend then. Because, yeah, at the moment, I can just fire it all up and look a bit closer. Basically, how far I got was I booted everything up last night into VR chat, and I opened the hand menu in VR chat, and there was no calibrate button. And I was like, oh. And then I was like, oh. Yeah, and that's however, it was the beginning of my Friday night, and I was like, I'm not troubleshooting a Linux problem at 8 p.m. on a Friday night, and I swapped back to my Windows PC. So, yeah. Well, that's what you do when you realise you've got a problem that you didn't think you were going to run into.
No. Oh.
Yeah. Well, that's it. That's the stage you go through when you realise that a thing that you've just taken for granted would work suddenly doesn't work, and you're like, oh yeah, that's because of this, you know. So yeah. So yeah. Thanks for reaching out, though. I'll have a closer look, but my intention was to have a closer look into this and then come back to the SlimeVR Discord and say to people, I need help in Linux. So yeah, it must be opened before you connect the headset. Interesting. I'm 99% certain I didn't do that, although we'll see. So yeah, I'll check into this. I'll check into that. So yeah, why am I taking? That's not what I.
You're taking out the CPU.
Yeah, I'm taking out the SSD, but that's not relevant right now. I'm going to put the SSD back in. Yeah, thanks for reaching out. I'll check into this, and I will have a look into this over the weekend.
I hope so.
So yes. However, no, I had not written off support. The fact that it's actually got integrated Wyvern support, though, that's super interesting. If that really does just work, that's really cool. I will be extremely impressed. So yeah. All right. I'm going to take the CPU out. Are we all turned off here? Yeah, we are. Good.
I'll swap CPU, bro.
Yeah. Right. I'm taking the graphics card out just to give myself space because this thing's got a whacking great spring clip on it.
I also require your
put this on overhead.
I also require your eagle noise.
My eagle noise. Oh yeah. Oh yes. America the Free. Ah!
Thank you.
Thank you for the help fixing PCs. Thank you very much for the $20, America the Free. Much appreciated, man. Cool. All right, feel free to ping me in SlimeVR if you need help. And your Safui, I hope I didn't just butcher that. Anyway, use the integration daily. Cool. Thank you very much. Yeah, the fact that it's known and works and stuff means that there is a way forward. This is kind of the thing with a lot of my Linux issues at the moment. There are solutions to them. Just requires me to troubleshoot. God, I remember this clip being horrendous the last time I used it. There we go.
Hey, it's okay. It could be worse. It could be an AM1 cool amount.
Oops. I think I had a bit too much thermal paste on this. That's fine.
It's fine. It's fine.
Just dripping out the sides.
He just went to a party.
I'm going to mop that up because I'm going to pull out the CPU, so I'm just going to immediately wipe up the worst of that. Actually, I don't think I used too much paste there. I think it's just that hold down bracket is really vicious, which itself might be interesting because sometimes CPUs don't like it when there's just too much mounting pressure on top of them. It can just bend the motherboard and just cause wacky issues. All right, Ryzen 5 5600. Okay, yeah, we've got a 5700X sitting on the bench here. So I'm just going to plop that in and we'll just see if all of our problems magically disappear.
Yeah.
So let's pull that out. And then if they do, we'll then put this back in and and continue to analyze this CPU.
Yeah, CPU.
Delicious. Paste everywhere, mounting pressure. Yeah, maybe. But paste going everywhere doesn't cause your computer to freak out. Unless you're using like conductive paste and stuff, whatever. You know what I mean.
I'm using a paste made out of diamonds.
I mean, are diamonds conductive?
No, but they'll cause you serious issues.
I guess. Right, I'm just going to perch this on top. There we go. So there's just something there.
Mounted.
Yeah. Just something to stop the CPU from just instantaneously burning out is all we need. This cooler is probably not man enough for a 5700X, but we don't need it to be right now. We just need to check that it works. So yeah. Right.
Opinion on a forked screwdriver.
What does this mean? Elaborate.
What? Do not fork your screwdriver.
Let's see.
This is not the sounding board I needed.
Power. I think we're good. Oh, HDMI, that's what I'm missing. Go.
Go, go, go. Check Discord off topic. Oh no.
Okay.
Oh no.
I'm opening Discord on my phone. BIOS flash. No, we've no reason to believe there's anything wrong with the BIOS. There's no evidence of that at all.
BIOS.
Why though? It is indeed a forked screwdriver, which obviously doesn't work because you can't turn it, but... What does this mean? Right, new CPU installed. Reset FTPM, yes.
It's like the reverse screwdriver.
Elaborate.
So it's a screwdriver that's then bent, so you can do screws up from the opposite side.
I mean, you can get like a bendy eye. I'm not entertaining this conversation. Right, this thing is posted. It's having a hissy fit because we changed the CPU and it's starting up.
Getting devices ready. Why does it need to get devices ready now?
That's a good question. Oh, because we changed the SSD.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very good.
This SSD hasn't booted in this system yet, so yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's doing a bunch of restarts and stuff. We can have capture because there's no customer data on this.
Capture. I'm doxing my customer called User.
Who is the mysterious hacker User? Right, okay. Task Mangler.
This is a CPU.
This is a CPU.
It has no activity.
Yeah, and we've got no graphics drivers or anything, but what do we want to do? So this is starting and running. I guess we can connect it to the internet and let it download graphic. Well, we could just do the same test. Just get a graphics driver on there. I'm going to plug in a Wi-Fi adapter and try and install superposition and try and run superposition, because that was the test that failed last time. So if that works, then that means that we now have a functional platform, and then we can start walking backwards to the customer's components again. So yeah.
Then I guess the next thing we do is put the graphics card back in.
Yeah. I'm definitely leaning in the direction of CPU at the moment, but we'll see. Like we only have one clear indicator of CPU, but some of the, I don't know. Yeah, I mean it makes sense. Also, again, as you know, Mike's Unboxing said, PSU, that's non-zero chance. If it falls over with the current hardware, then I will start majorly considering power supply.
Yeah.
So yeah. Right, we have Wi-Fi, so we need this thing to grab a graphics driver. Please grab a graphics driver.
Oh yeah, have you heard back from... Oh, I can't remember their name. The company about the telephone number.
I was about to say I have initiated that. So yeah, I was about to say I need to go broadband shopping because
I have initiated the action.
Yeah, I have initiated that, and at some point the broadband is just going to die. So I actually need to order broadband. Oh, it wants to download loads of stuff. Okay. What else has it got? It's got some updates. I just want the NVIDIA driver. What's going to be faster? Let this run, or to stop Windows Update and go and get the NVIDIA driver?
At the speed that everything else is going.
Let it run.
It looks like it.
Yeah. Okay. We'll let it run.
But also the other thing we can do is, if it matters, is just move it and do something else.
Yeah, we could do. Yeah. I mean, I need to use the bathroom super quickly anyway, so we'll give it a sec. Have you? Yeah, no, you're still up. I'm just going to leave Task Manager open just so we have a.
I'm going to do that.
And a live test.
And I'm going to swap to Facecam with Capture, and then I'm going to sit here and I'm going to do what you do.
Wow. Oh, I see. Yeah. I was like, "The hell are you doing?" And then I looked at OBS and saw the preview. I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, that's kind of funny." I think that's funny. Someone validate me, please.
Please.
All right. Have you got an up-to-date BIOS for the 5600? Yes, this computer was working just fine with its current configuration. So yeah, no hardware has been changed since the computer was in a working state. This isn't that one instance, this isn't that one video where the customer had changed the CPU, or that other Two Guys Talk Tech where the customer had changed the CPU. The BIOS is up to date. There is probably a newer BIOS. However, this is not a BIOS issue. 100% this is not a BIOS issue.
Because also if the BIOS wasn't compatible, it literally wouldn't post.
Yeah.
On this. Whereas we were getting post. It was just crashing.
Yeah.
Is crashing.
I will be right back.
Very well. I will take the microphone off and then walk off with it. No, wait, hold on. I'm not supposed to do that.
Put it in my pocket.
There are no suspicious noises. Yes. Yes. Me too, Reploid. Me too. The fact that the customer took the CPU out of the... I'm going to move over here. Took the CPU out of the computer, put it in a different computer, and then had the audacity to say, "Oh, I don't know why it doesn't work." Ah! Oh well, that would have all been solved by actually paying attention to which motherboards we had, and actually paying attention to the compatibility of the motherboards. But you know, it's Intel stuff and was less than relevant. Something shots fired. Where are we? But also the whole Intel thing of just, oh yes, we're going to make 4 generations of CPU that are identical pinouts, functionally, physically compatible with the sockets, but we're going to make them UEFI non-compatible.
What's this?
6th, 7th, 8th and 9th gen.
Yeah.
It's just like, really? Really?
I had an interesting observation.
You bastards.
I had an interesting observation the other day. You know, I did a video a couple of weeks ago on the pre-built to custom conversion, where someone had like an Acer computer and I rebuilt it in a custom case.
Yes.
Replaced half the components and stuff like that. There was some comment. Oh yeah. Someone said, "Oh, because you picked a B660 motherboard, it won't work with K SKUs." And I was just like, "What? No, that's not a thing."
Hold on. What? Say that again.
Because I picked a B660 motherboard or whatever B660 motherboard, it wouldn't work with K SKU CPUs. And I think they're misunderstanding the fact that of the difference. Like, you can put a K SKU CPU in there, you just can't overclock it unless you're on a Z chipset.
Oh, yeah. It will physically function, but yes, you cannot.
You just can't overclock it.
Yeah.
However, just to confirm that I wasn't going completely insane, I looked up the CPU compatibility for the motherboard just to make sure I wasn't going insane. And so I bought this for 12th gen, but it was listing 14th gen stuff there as well.
Yes.
Are they really compatible all the way up
12th,
to 14th?
13th and 14th. Because they are all 12th gen.
Ah, yeah.
It's 12th gen with more volts, 12th gen with even more volts.
Oh no. Oh gosh, Intel. Yeah, fair enough. I was like, oh, how about that? So
it's why Arrow Lake was such a big surprise, because it was actually a new CPU instead of 12th gen with even more volts.
Yeah. So that's kind of interesting then, because that means that kid could actually put a much newer CPU in, like a 12,
a 14 1200 600 or something like that.
Yeah, 14600 or something like that. Yeah, exactly that. So yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting. It meant that computer probably has more legs than I gave it credit for. It's DDR4, but still,
Yeah, you wouldn't want to go above the 12, 400, 600 non-K, I'd imagine.
Yeah. Oh. Joe says, idiot checks match the CPU and motherboard, the date and BIOS correct. Yeah, we have checked that. This isn't one of those situations, and yes, we have checked. Normally, I would be annoyed at being asked such a duh question. However, after that, no, it's still fine. After that one fiasco we had, we kind of deserve that, if I'm honest, or at least.
Yes.
We or I?
We,
yeah, all right, yeah. You were there, you had the power to stop me anytime you chose,
Yeah, but also, like, I know precisely nothing about 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th gen.
Fair enough, yeah. Right, that's done some stuff. I'm going to hit reset and just see how far it gets.
Yeah. When the date was the year 80,072. On the Maloon.
Oh, the Maloon, yeah.
The year is 80,072, and the Maloon still exists.
And Intel is still trying to mine 14 nanometers.
Has the Maloon come back in yet?
No, I have not seen that one in a long time, for which I'm truly thankful. Because, the last time I saw it, the customer was still making terrible financial decisions as to what to upgrade it with. So, yeah.
I desire another drink.
All right.
Would you care for a coffee? Or shall we cider?
Part of me wants a cider, but the other part of me is just like, I could probably do with a coffee. I've had 2 coffees this afternoon already.
How hectic.
Yeah, no, I'll cider.
Very well.
Can have a little cider as a treat. I have to stand specifically here, so otherwise I keep standing here, which is just,
It's okay, you can stand here now. Goodbye.
Very well. You should make a poster and keep adding stuff to it and then make a t-shirt out of it. Yeah, maybe. We shall see. I do need to do merch design stuff. That's on the bucket list, but just I want to do merch stuff and I should do merch stuff. I just don't have any motivation on merch, which is annoying. I have designs that are ready to get going with. I'm just don't have the motivation to set them up, you know. Right, did it install a graphics driver? I don't think it did because we're at potato resolution.
Hello. I was just coming back to continue the conversation whilst it heats and stuff.
Understandable.
Well, yes. And mentioning merch. Just the other thing as well is coming up with alternate versions just so you can have more colorways.
Yeah, that's
because
true.
you can only have like 7 colors per design. But obviously you can duplicate the design and have more colors.
Oh, yes, I see what you mean. Yeah, yeah.
So I've done that for the t-shirt, but need to go through and do it for everything else.
Right, million doubt. Right, screw this. I'm just going to download it from NVIDIA.
NVIDIA.co.uk/drivers.
NVIDIA.co.uk/drivers. Give me the game ready driver. Best for gamers.
Because I am a gamer.
Capital G gamer. All right, time to download 900 megabytes. God dang it.
Don't worry, it will be instantaneous soon enough.
Yeah, I'm just thinking out loud. I'm just like, the computer hasn't crashed yet. Do we even need to continue this test right now? Oh, this is hideous. This Wi-Fi adapter is wank and it's going to take like 20 minutes to download this. Oh, no, it's coming down to 10 minutes. Have you? I don't suppose you've got the NVIDIA drivers on a SSD or something, have you? No.
I don't have anything on me.
Yeah.
I'm terribly sorry. Is it just faster to download it here and copy it across on an USB?
It might be. Full download. What are we getting at the moment? Oh my god, we're downloading at like 2 megs per second. No, yeah, stop. All right, oh my gosh. All right, you start downloading that. I'm going to switch, I'm going to, oh, it's because fucking Windows Update is savaging the connection as well, that's why. Okay, I'm going to swap back to the other CPU and just see if it immediately starts crashing on us. Because it hasn't crashed yet. I think it's fine.
Yeah.
I'm willing to bet that we're going to put in the 5600 and it's going to just start failing everywhere. Hello? All right, I'll do it myself.
There you go. Less than 3 minutes.
Yeah, that's more like it. The fact that Windows Updates is still such a bottleneck. Yeah, it's one of the reasons why, even when I get fiber, I really want to get my update cache going. Just so when stuff is running Windows Update, it's just pulling it off of a caching server instead. Just to make it a bit faster.
The other benefit is this will mean you actually have the latest driver on your flash drive.
Yeah, which I probably should do anyway, if I'm honest, but most of the time I'm just lazy and I just download it on demand. Are we off at the socket? Nope. Boop. All right. Okay, let's put back in the problem child. All right. Fine, I'll cut it out in the edit. Wait. Did you see my quick reactions there where I was just like, I didn't try to catch it, I pushed it away. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. All right. Cooling. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Who are you convincing here?
Gravity happened. It surely did. Okay.
I do enjoy the fact that I look at your downloads folder and it just says payment.
Oh yeah,
payment,
invoices. Yeah, I've got to move that stuff somewhere else. Bookkeeping. This computer gets used for the bookkeeping as well. So, actually didn't. Oh, what, Mr. Producer? What are people seeing at the moment? Nothing. Okay, yeah.
This.
Outstanding. Yeah.
So it would have happened here.
Yeah. All right. New CPU is fitted. I'm going to drop into BIOS just so that's working.
Good. You green.
Okay, right. This is working and hardware monitor. Right, CPU core voltage is sitting at 1.1 right now. Okay. So what we can do if we actually get to the point where we think this CPU is degraded is we set a manual core voltage, and if that solves the problem, then that confirms the degradation. Because when you set the manual voltage, even when the CPU is idling, the voltage won't drop off. And that is a way where you can prolong the life of the CPU, but it will continue to get worse and it will need more and more voltage to remain stable. So yeah, that's not a fix. You're just delaying the inevitable at that point. Cool, right, okay. Reboot. Lead Farmer, it's not a BIOS issue. How many times do we need to go over this? There is zero evidence that this is a BIOS issue. There is no evidence to support that whatsoever. None. Absolutely none. Right. Okay, right. We have booted up. I'm going to bring up Task Manager. And let's go performance, CPU. Right, and I'm just going to sit and leave it to idle for a moment. Any thoughts on the Apple Neo? I don't hate it. It's a cheap Apple Mac laptop. Yeah. I think it's valid. I'm not excited about it per se, but I think it's entirely valid. But yeah, we talked about it at length last week.
The colours of the keyboard are horrifying.
I haven't looked, if I'm honest.
Based on the shots I've seen, it just looks perpetually dirty because they're just off-white.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's annoying. Right. I'm going to turn off Wi-Fi because I don't think we're... CPU is at very low utilization, but not flat. We're waiting for the CPU to actually flatline. Yeah, I tell you what, while I'm going to get a hardware monitor on this because then we can actually see if the CPU actually flatlines. Because it's still sitting at 4 gigahertz at the moment. We're waiting for it to drop to 2 gigahertz or something like that. But yeah.
My only problem with the Neo.
Grab superposition while we're here. Yeah.
Now that I've seen more reviews and stuff, is the 8 gigs of RAM.
Yeah.
Just because.
Why, a review showing that it just does it just blow through that really quickly or something?
Kinda. If you are a Chromebook user and you're only sitting in Safari using Safari,
yeah,
you'll survive.
Yeah.
but also the fact of just it's going to swap heavily, and isn't the default storage 128 gigs again?
Yeah.
So it's just a case of...
it's 256 is standard.
Is it? Okay. I haven't
Citation
looked.
needed.
I haven't looked at all. But I was just like,
Yeah, if it was 128 gigs, that would be a deal breaker for me. But I don't think Apple have been that crappy. Oh, right. I'm going to grab one of these.
I am going to use the power of the internet and find out.
Do it.
Apple Neo.
Yeah. As I say, I'm not
Buy.
that interested in it. I'm more interested in.
The silver looks alright.
Yeah, I'm more interested in its position on the market. Yeah, 256 is
256,
standard.
Yeah. I don't like that the Touch ID is bundled with the higher storage.
Yeah.
But also, I get it.
Yeah, I mean, Touch ID, it's not a deal breaker, but yeah, I mean, I think they're just trying to incentivize the higher model a bit more.
But yeah.
Because for the target demographic. Yeah. Yeah, apparently the educational discount is extremely easy to get, even if you're not in education. Like, apparently it's very easy to like spoof it or something. But
I need to
wouldn't know
find a
anything about
compliant
it.
student
Yeah.
so I can steal their educational discounts for
Right.
various things,
Close.
including Dell.
Arbor info. This thing seems to be behaving, which is kind of making me swing back toward the mounting pressure theory. No, I accidentally clicked full. Now Hardware Info is going to start up with all of this confusing nonsense that I don't understand. Be gone. Give me sensors only, please. Right, I'm going to put this down.
That seems like the safe option.
What are you implying? Right, okay, right. Core VID. Okay, right, so that's the bit that I wanted to see. So the numbers are small anyway. However, the CPU has dropped to 0.96 volts at times. It's waking up now and then, but we're dropping to less than a volt and it's not freezing. If this was degradation, I would expect it to lock up the moment the voltage drops below 1. That's what I would expect to see. And also, like previously when we were fiddling with this, it had locked up long before now. What we need to do now is, we need to actually throw some real tests at it just to make sure it doesn't fall over under load. So I'll close that. Let's get those.
Get superposition installed.
Yeah, I was going to say, let's get those graphics drivers installed and actually give it the beans. Hey, look, it's Dave Bob's void angle.
What?
I will not elaborate.
Why is it his void angle?
He asked me to print it, and I was calling it a void angle, which he thought was extremely funny. However, since you missed the gag there. Smart screen can't be reached right now. I don't care! Give me the driver! Oh, I should have copied it to the desktop first. Always install stuff to the desktop. Always copy stuff onto the local computer before you try and install it. All right. I'm going to catch up on chat because I've been neglecting it. Okay. Ba-ba-ba-ba.
I have a passing interest in the 250K and the 270K.
Oh yeah, the new Intel. Oh yeah, do you want to do it? You take over for a bit of swap places.
Sure.
There's your coffee. New Intels. Caradog is interested. I'm not planning on buying one or anything, but I raised my eyebrow. So I watched Jay's 2 Cents do their announcement on it. They said sort of, oh, it's got another 2 E-cores and stuff like that. And I was like, who cares? That's not fixing your problems, whatever. And they said, oh, it's our fastest gaming one and such. And it's like, yeah, we'll see, you know, blah, blah, blah. However, then they said that the CPUs were $200 and $300 respectively. And I was like, oh, that's bullish pricing. That's, you know, like, I'm not going to say that that's a bargain or anything, but that's pricing where it's just like, oh, okay, that's pretty good. You know, decent gamer CPUs for $200 and $300.
Yeah.
And then you said,
but 7500F go, lol, I'm £90.
True.
It must be faster than a 7500F.
I mean, it apparently beats a 9600X.
In Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Which is the only game that Intel said they're faster in by double digits.
Ooh, okay, yeah.
So, we will see.
Yeah.
I want to see the real benchmarks.
Yeah.
And I want it to be faster. I want it to be, across the board, 20% faster than Arrow Lake.
Yeah.
Because then you'll be like, hello, yes, this is wonderful.
Yeah.
There is actually a degree of competition here.
Yeah. And also, again, the other issue that you pointed out was the fact of like, okay, cool, your CPUs are $200 and $300 a piece, but also the problem is your motherboards are $200 and $300.
Yeah.
Are there any? I kind of want to check at some point. Are there any good sub $200 Intel motherboards?
Specifically, socket 1700.
Yeah.
1800, whatever it is.
For Arrow Lake, yeah.
Because if there aren't equally cheap motherboards, it's kind of going to be a moot if you have to pay nearly double the, you know, or the same as the CPU. And you're at £400 before you get going. Whereas on AM5 you can spend £100 on the CPU, £110 on the motherboard, and you're at half the price.
Yeah.
So
yeah. In which case it doesn't matter. I mean, it also just depends on pricing versus like retail 9600X as well, because while I understand that, like, from a system builder perspective, we're going to be like, lol, AliExpress 7500F go burr, but I don't think it's fair to say that Intel needs to compete with that, because these are like weird off the back of a lorry CPUs.
I guess, but then
and really the price that we should expect Intel to compete with is just retail 9600X.
I guess, but if Spire is selling it for 115, then it needs to compete with 115.
Yeah, Spire have managed to have them at similar pricing, not AliExpress pricing, but certainly Oh, display scaling has gone weird, but we don't care about that. So yeah,
extreme.
Sure, yeah, extreme.
Fix our friends, etc., etc.
Yeah, there are a few at about £150 apparently. Okay, that's kind of interesting. So yeah,
that makes that more viable.
Yeah, it means we've got a conversation there at least. Whereas so yeah, the new i5 at $200. Which I'm assuming is going to end up being £200. If
it wanders in at like £180, I think that would be exceedingly fair.
Yeah, if it wanders in at £180 and can beat a 9600X in gaming, it doesn't need to be by a country mile. It just needs to actually give it a bloody nose.
Yeah,
you know,
4, 5, 6%.
Yeah.
GME average, like, absolutely fine.
Obviously, we all want 20% improvements. That would be wonderful.
Well, I want a 20% Arrow Lake on Arrow Lake improvement. To give them 4 or 5% faster than the 9600.
However, if it can actually give a 9600X a bloody nose, then we now have a CPU that is part of the conversation. Whereas if it's more expensive than a 9600X and it's slower than a 9600X, why are you here? What are you doing? You know.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But it's a case that it does kind of prove what the issues were with Arrow Lake to start with to a degree, because they said, Intel said in their announcement video that they've changed several of the die-to-die clocks and
Yeah.
made them over a gigahertz faster.
Yeah.
And it basically says that, yeah, the latency because of your really weird multi-tile design is kind of the killer.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, B860 starts at about 130. Yeah.
That's good then.
Yeah. Intel for workstation, like video editing, rumors say they're better. Well, better, I'm not sure, but relevant, yes. If you're doing if in productivity, Intel is not insanity. For gaming, Arrow Lake is just like, what? No, you know. However, for productivity, at least it's competitive. I don't know whether it's like chart topping. I haven't looked, but I do know that it is at least, again, it's relevant. It is part of the conversation. It has a seat at the table, and a lot of the time that's good enough. Like, you know, we sort of touched on this earlier on because you said you were going to sell your 9950X 3D, and because your Arrow Lake was doing what you needed.
Because it was fine, and it was a case of
Yeah.
I knew I could sell the AMD stuff for more.
Yeah, that's it.
Basically.
So that's the thing. It's just like we don't have stuff doesn't have to be chart topping to be relevant. However, if you're buying from scratch, it obviously makes sense to buy the best thing you can for your money. You know, so there's no point in deliberately buying a worse deal.
Yeah.
But if you have stuff, then that's fine. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah. Right.
It didn't crash.
It didn't crash, and 5,100 points. I was expecting a little bit more than that, but I don't know. But to put things in perspective, a 3080 would do 10,000.
Yeah.
So yeah, 3080 being twice the speed of a 3060. Yeah, that sounds plausible, doesn't it? So yeah, okay, the scores make sense, and it has not crashed yet. Okay, this computer seems to have fixed itself. So I am thinking we put the Radeon back in.
See.
And then if that works, then we clamp down the CPU cooler. I think this was a bad CPU mount. Maybe that cooler maybe the mounting pressure is just too high.
Or maybe there's something wrong with their SSD. Not their SSD, but the installer windows on their SSD, or the SSD.
Yeah, because we haven't had any crashes on this SSD full stop, have we?
No.
So yeah, SSD fault, that's still on the table.
Or, yeah, the software.
Well,
on
actually,
the
before we touch anything, should we just drop customer SSD in there and just see if it throws a hissy fit?
Yeah, sure, can do.
Because we have a stable platform at the moment. So yeah, let's just drop the customer SSD in and see if it falls over. Whoop. With a dead LGA 1156 platform you'd have to buy from scratch. Yeah, obviously there is a certain point.
Stay.
Good.
Are we off for capture? Yes.
Yes.
Good.
Right. No capture at the moment because we're on the customer SSD again. If we get as far as superposition, then we'll show you that. Right, is that cooler? Just going to nudge that along a little bit. Yeah. What chip is in there? Yeah, the 5600 is in there. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Okay.
No, the PC froze or crashed in use.
Yeah.
So it's nothing to do with sleep wake.
Yeah. Like the screen went black, but that's not because it was going to sleep. We thought it had gone to sleep, but actually it just locked up. Right, I think that live wallpaper nonsense is booting up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was all in, if you go to System Tray and just right-click and exit that stuff. Whoop. So when it crashed, we were installing superposition.
Go away.
Also, we probably oh no, we did have an NVIDIA driver on this. I don't know where or how, but you might want to, once you start installing superposition, you might want to just double check that we've got an NVIDIA driver. How low would you go for a light browsing PC, 2nd gen? No. For a light browsing PC,
Nothing older than 9th gen.
9th gen, yeah. Because you can buy second-hand Dell Optiplexes on eBay for £100–150 with 9th gen CPUs in them.
Yeah, that'll do.
So it's just for £100–150 for a 9th gen i5, like why would you go any less than that, you know? And obviously, because that's 9th gen, that has native support for Windows 11, so you don't have to mess around.
No.
Oh, driver update and so the downloads folder has got driver updater and stuff like that in it, so that's a bit concerning. That much being said, touch wood, it hasn't locked up yet. I would just put the keyboard down at this point because that's what I'd done previously. So just to reproduce the same fault. Is native thing that, when I say native, I mean, because you can run Windows 11 on a 2nd gen Intel CPU, but I mean support natively, it means it's officially supported. You have secure boot, FTPM, etc., etc.
As in, you can grab the ISO off the Microsoft website,
Yeah.
stick it on a flash drive, and go, boom,
It
done.
works, yeah.
No further fettling required.
It is officially supported. What was the crashing tool like before? It was a bit random. However, previously we had not managed to get through the superposition benchmark with the customer SSD.
Also, something's just wrong with the display output, isn't it?
I mean, the frame rate looks a little bit stuttery. Is that what you're thinking, or
it's like it's trying to do an HDR signal inside an SDR container.
I think that's just this monitor, because this monitor has got.
Well, it didn't look like that on the other. So just something's something's a bit weird.
Yeah, maybe the customers messed with the display settings at some point. Oh, we've got as far as superposition.
Yeah. You can now swap back to the capture.
Yeah, here comes superposition again, folks. Why still test with the RTX? Just because this platform is working. So if it crashes now, we know it has to be to do with the customer's SSD and or Windows install. So yeah, I think the next thing we're going to do is we're going to bolt down the CPU cooler again. We had crashes with the RTX, so at this point we've no reason to suspect the customer's graphics card.
Yeah.
So we should switch back to their graphics card sooner rather than later, just because we don't believe there's any problems with that anymore. Yeah, right now it looks like this was a CPU mounting pressure issue, or maybe just a bad CPU fitment, but I don't understand why it would just suddenly die like that. Like, it's a PGA CPU, like reseating just kind of isn't a thing with that, in my experience.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. This is this definitely was CPU related. I can't think of a reason why at the moment. Also, though, I have said I say in other places, sometimes there isn't a why, sometimes stuff just breaks, and there is no reason why. Sometimes the CPU just wet the bed, we took it out, we put it back in again, and now it works.
Yeah.
You know? So, yeah. Smart check for the SSD? Well, not yet, because we currently, unless it crashes again now, we don't believe, we need it to crash now in order to what's the term when evidence points towards something? Incriminate. We need it to crash now to incriminate the SSD. BIOS reset. Lead Farmer, you're just trolling at this point. You're just trolling. Solar flares are also trolling. I gave it a hard look and a photon from my eyeball corrupted the BIOS. Yeah, it's going to get through.
Yeah.
And I guess we can assume that it should still score a similar amount as well. Maybe an i3 12100 would be an option just for internet surfing. If you're building from scratch, brand new, yeah, I would say that's a viable option. The 12100 was fine. That was a little ripper CPU. That I seem to remember. Like, wasn't the 12100 like £100 or something like that?
Yeah.
It was crazy good bang for buck. I only ever encountered like one of them, but it was a really good bang for buck CPU.
The problem with it is it's only 4 cores.
Yeah, but they were.
So it was just a case of it, despite its low price, it made it really naff for gaming after like a year of being out.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
It scores about 100 points less, which is just interesting.
Yeah, that might be run-to-run variants, and also, again, we don't know what else is running in the background on this as well. But still,
but statement interesting. It's about 100 points less.
Yeah, it got through. Okay, right. I vote. I'm gonna YOLO this. Right. Okay. So the next thing for actual testing is to bolt down the CPU cooler. I kind of want to just put their graphics card in as well, but that's changing 2 things at once. So yeah, let's just bolt down the CPU cooler.
Turn off capture.
Oh yeah, sorry. Let's go to bench cam with face.
Face.
All right. Okay. All right. I'm going to.
Are you going to put any paste under there?
Oh yeah, I guess I should as a treat.
Just a tiny amount.
Yeah. Yeah.
It weighs like 4 grams. It's not a problem.
Yeah.
I'm going to use my Psy paste. Oh no, wait, it's GD900.
Yes, my bird poop paste. Because it separates and comes out like bird poop. A loop. Damn it. 1. Yeah, I'll take the card out. Lift that. All right. There we go. All right, that's on. Bolt it and stress test. Yeah, we'll hit the CPU with stress tests next because superposition barely touches the CPU. The only reason why we were still running superposition is that was initially the first test that I was trying to run that had crashed. So
yeah, and it just straight crashed during the install.
Yeah, exactly. So we were doing that just simply to reproduce the faults that we had previously encountered. But at this point, it's just like, yeah, we're not looking for GPU problems now. So yeah, superposition is no longer relevant. So yeah, we'll switch to Cinebench now. And Cinebench is not a torment test for a CPU, but it's still a pretty solid confidence test. If you can make it through If you can make it through Cinebench, then you don't have catastrophic CPU problems. And that's what we're looking for. So yeah. All right. Boot up is rapid on this thing. Now it's not upset anymore and the BIOS isn't upset. It's so fast into the desktop. Oh my gosh.
Despite all the weird things that...
I'm holding back of just uninstalling all of this live wallpaper bollocks that runs on startup. I'm going to tell it to not run on startup. AMD noise suppression. What the hell is? Is that an official AMD thing?
Yeah, it's
whack.
It's the same as RTX voice.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fair. All right. Let's grab Cinebench, and I will stick that on. Extract.
That is.
Oops! I accidentally paused because I fumbled the keyboard.
Cinebench 26 now, I think.
I don't know.
No, but just statement. There is.
Yeah. I don't keep my stuff up to date. I will keep using the same tests until they are no longer fit for purpose.
So
yeah. Although in fairness, I have dropped Heaven entirely now because any graphics card that is not comfortable running superposition is just not relevant.
Yeah.
Because for a while I would run Heaven on lower end graphics cards and superposition on higher end stuff. But like as you saw, the 3060 can pull off superposition at 1080p extreme. Not very well, but it can do it.
I mean, it can do it at above 30 FPS, which is enough to actually run the test kind of thing.
Okay, let's pull up hardware info as well. I'll also copy that to C drive. And then I'll close the File Explorer so we can have a capture. Sensors only, start. Right, Spotify, be gone.
The program.
I understood that reference. That's fine. Okay, right. Can we? There we go. Accept. All right. Okay. You may capture.
Capture with face.
Capture with gusto. Right. Where is our actual temperature? There it is. All right. There's our temperatures. Cool. So there's our temperatures. Our voltage once again dropped below 1 volt just then, and we haven't had any lockups or anything like that. Yeah. This is definitely not a degradation issue. Whatever happens. So, okay, right, give me advanced. The hell? Weird, but okay. Right, start multi-core. Sensors. Cool. All right. Let's leave that to cycle for a bit. Where's our package power? Package power is sitting at 68 watts. 69 watts. Yeah, also for the record, this is a 5600 non-X. It's not the 5600X. So yeah, 70 watts, that seems about right to me. I'm not sure what it's supposed to be. 70 watts sounds about correct though. I would imagine the 5600X is probably like 80 or 90 watts or something like that. PSU is a Corsair CX550.
Its PPT limit is 88 watts. So the absolute maximum will do.
Yeah.
Stock is 88.
Yeah. Yeah, and it looks like all core it's looking for. Oh yeah, it's picked up a little bit more. All core it's up to 72, so Probably if you ran like Y Cruncher on it or something like that, it might see 75 or 80 watts.
Yeah.
550, a bit low. Please explain your calculation for that. Please explain how a 3060 and a 70 watt CPU is going to get to 550 watts. And the reason why I'm sort of calling you out on this is because we've been over this so many times in these streams, how much people overspec power supplies. So yeah, we've got a CPU that before your very eyes is struggling to hit 80 watts, and a graphics card. What's the TDP of a 3060? I'm guessing 200.
I'm going to guess 200, yeah.
Yeah, and that's being generous. It might even be 170.
30, 60, 12 gigabyte. Actually, I want to know what the
Tech power up, yeah.
I want to know what the TGP is.
Yeah.
Still, I'll do.
170 watts.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, so we've got 170 watts on the graphics card, and we've got 80 watts on the CPU. So add those together, and we're maybe halfway into our power budget. So, Right, our CPU has topped out at 68.8 centigrade so far. Again, given something like Y Cruncher, it'll probably see a bit higher than that. Might push to 75, but yeah, temperature is fine.
It's surprisingly good, given...
It's almost like I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, but like, I expected more noise.
Yeah.
Or more temperature.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's actually really rather
because,
good.
Like, if the CPU is less than 100 degrees, you don't need it. You just don't need it. Like, I hate being sarcastic and combative with chat, but I'm so bored of being called out on stuff like this. And it's just like, look, it's fine. That Poxy 2 heat pipe cooler that you guys were all mocking at the start of the stream, it's fine. It's fine. Why do they recommend higher for a 6600 XT? A lot of the time the recommended power supplies are wildly overspec'd because they don't know what kind of power supply you're fitting.
Because they know the power supply that most people buy.
Yeah. When most people buy the X-Silence power supply, that is the tin lunchbox cereal box power supply that has like 20 wire gauge cable on it.
Yeah,
and
also says 600 watts on the side, or 680 on the side, but it's actually only 290 on the 12 volt. So that's why they recommend a 750 watt power supply.
That's it. They always wildly overspec their power supply minimum requirements, because that way they know that even if you buy an absolute shitbox PSU, it will still manage. But if you actually buy a proper power supply, it will actually deliver what it says it does. Oh yeah, oh my God.
Like this insert builder here power supply that says it's a 500 watt power supply, but is 22 amps on the 12 volt rail.
Yeah, let's just do the maths on that, shall we? Let's see, so 22 amp 12 volt rail.
Yeah.
22 times 12. Did you just die? Or did you go to sleep? I think it went to sleep. 264. Yeah, it went to sleep, and it's woken up again, so that's fine. Yeah. So this, what? Oh yeah. So this shitbox PSU, wherever it came from, that's brand name is Builder.
Which is CIT.
Oh, is that CIT? Yeah. Okay, there you go then. Yeah. Yeah. It says it's 500 watts, but its 12 volt rail is only capable of 264 watts. That's when you've got to overspec your power supply, but also just like don't use these.
Yeah.
What are you doing? So yeah. However, Corsair power supply, which is not to say that Corsair power supplies can't fail. I've seen plenty of dead Corsair CXs in my career. You know, they do die, but also though that will actually have like 50 amps on the 12 volt rail.
Well, actually, it's probably a 550 rated and will do 500.
Yeah.
Because it's a CX cheap.
Can we agree that this PSU is not future-proof? Okay, let's run a little thought experiment, shall we? Let's pretend that we buy. So firstly, what kind of customer owns this computer? This customer's some kid. So if they that kid had a budget of basically minimum viable when they got this gaming PC. So let's pretend that they do an upgrade. They're not going to go to a Halo class computer here. There is no planet where this child is suddenly going to be airdropped a 5090 class computer kind of thing. You know, like, come on. And if they suddenly find that kind of money, they're buying a new PC. You know, if grandma dies and they get their inheritance and decide to blow it all on a PC, they're buying a new PC. So let's assume that any upgrades that this computer is going to get are going to be mid-range or mid-high. That's a reasonable assumption to make. So let's pretend that they say that they're going to get a mid to high graphics card. So let's say 5070 Ti. You know, does that... Caradog has already pulled something up, but I can't see what he's pulled up yet. So let's pretend they get a 5070 Ti. The 5070 Ti is what? 300 watts? 280?
I can't actually remember. I'll
what
look
have
at
you
what
picked
it's
out?
list. So I said 6950 XT.
Okay, I was going to pick something modern, but
Yeah.
sure.
But
Also, though, that's a thirsty
6950 XT, rated board power 335 watts.
Okay, that's pretty thirsty. Yeah, that's as 335. That's as high as it gets without going to Halo tier graphics
But it's
cards.
also a case of plus 80 watt CPU.
Yeah,
You're
so
at 405
yeah, so
or
we've got-
415.
So let's pretend we get a really thirsty graphics cards, and it's, you know, let's make it 350. Let's get crazy. So 350 watts. So let's take 550 calculator. All clear. 550 minus 350. That gives us 200 watts to play with. Now, if you buy a 7800 X3D, which is a mid to high end gaming CPU, I mean, it's last generation's gaming killer. You know. That's 150 watts. So it still works. Let's pretend you get the 9800 X3D, that can push 200 watts, can't it? So
It's a bit less than that.
yeah, but like it can peak 200 watts. So like now we can start having a conversation about a 550 watt power supply. And also it's worth noting that all of this assumes that we don't have any overhead built in, which is a bit sketch. You kind of want to add all these numbers up and then add 100 to the top of it. But we're still talking about a 550 watt power supply here. We're not even talking about and also we're talking about putting in like a 350 watt graphics card and a top spec gaming CPU here. Like I've already blown past the parameters that I previously set. If we drop down to mid-range, now we're talking about 250 watt graphics cards and maybe 120 watts on the CPU, in which case we're well within acceptable parameters. The fact remains that you just don't need that many watts unless you're at the top end. The absolute top end, that's when things get crazy. Like if you start running a 14900K, that's looking for 300 watts. If you start running a 5090, that's looking for 600 watts. Now we can talk about a 550 watt power supply completely falling apart.
Yeah, you can upgrade to a 5060 Ti 16 gig
Yeah.
and be at 180 watts.
That's the thing. However, if you actually, if you focus on wake up, if you focus on the actual what the customer is likely to do with the computer, yeah. And again, like if the customer does get a windfall and can suddenly afford a 5090, then that's a $2,000 graphics card. They can afford another power supply at that point,
If they're installing a 5080, they can afford a power supply.
Yeah. So. Right, this thing has also
You can
not
install
crashed.
a 5070 Ti and not need a new power supply.
Yeah, I'm going to shut this down and put in their graphics card. Can you take us off of capture, please? So this is the thing,
Facecam.
if you were to build a new PC, would you install a new 550 or more like a 700 watt? Again, it depends on what's going in it. You've got to look. This is what PC specking is actually about. It's about balancing the spec.
And sure, if a 550 watt PSU is £55 and a 650 watt is £57, I'm going to spend £2 and put in the 750 watt because it's £2.
Yeah. However, this.
But if it's £20, I'm going to save the 20 quid.
Yeah. When I sold this PC, I probably sold it for like, I don't know, £600 or £700 would be my initial guess on the value of this PC. You know, if I spent £100 of that on an 800 watt power supply for future proofing, I'm a dumbass, because that now means that I can't fit a decent graphics card in the budget.
Yeah.
You know.
It means you're now selling a PC with, what, a single RAM module, the stock cooler only.
But the power supply is future-proofed. That
and
doesn't help
now
them.
having to sell it with, like, a 2600 because you picked that up off of eBay for £30.
Yeah.
It's like...
But thank God their power supply is future-proof, you know. So that's it. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying to people 550 watts is all you'll ever need. What we're saying is you have to look at the build as a whole and what the customer is likely to do with it. If a customer said to me, I'm putting in a potato graphics card because I can't afford the big boy, but I want to put a big graphics card in at a later date, at that point you'd be like, okay, we should probably up-spec the power supply because we know they want to put a big graphics card in it.
Yeah.
But that's
or
not...
tell them that as a part of budgeting for the big graphics card, you need to budget for a much higher rated power supply.
Yeah, yeah.
And then we can try and sell this one second hand and recoup some of the money.
Yeah.
But if you are on budget of no...
Yeah. Which is the case more often than not. A lot of parents, they come in and they say, my child wants a gaming PC. How much does it cost? And you say...
£1,000.
Well, yeah. You say, well, for something decent, you kind of want to budget £1,000 and upwards. And they'd be like, oh. And they're like, I wasn't expecting to spend that much. I'm like, yeah, that's kind of what gaming PCs cost, if I'm honest. You can build them for less than that.
Yeah.
But as soon as your budget is sub 4 figures, you have to compromise somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm missing the screw for the graphics card. That's for that.
Got that bit.
Yeah.
And then that's a CPU.
Yeah. Okay, I will simply grab another one in that case.
These are some festive balls.
Balls.
That's a graphics card.
I have another one. Moving
I have
on.
stolen your graphics card.
Oh yeah, understandable.
Well, I was just kind of having a gander, seeing if I could see the bits, and I'm like, nope, they're gone. They've vanished into the nether.
Yeah, it's better to have some overhead in watts. You do that then. In the meantime, we already have about 250 watts to spare in this PC. So...
Which is nearly 50% of its capacity.
Yeah, we are maybe at 50% of this power supply's capability.
In actual fact, this should have been a 450 watt power supply.
Like, I don't know how much overhead you want to have because we've got 50% here. So, what are we even talking about? Right, we don't need you. Right, we're back to original configuration now. So,
almost.
Yeah. Adding in this £5 Wi-Fi adapter is what fixed it.
It aligned your chakra.
Right, we're back on customer configuration. We've got the Radeon back in there. Right now...
Look at that for a boot time.
That's so fast. Like, this isn't even... Like, this was a minimum viable PC build. It's a 6700 with a B450 motherboard. Like, this was as cheap as I could go. Without just like...
Feeling really awful.
Yeah, this is as cheap as you can build without building just a shitbox, basically. Yeah. And just... Man, sometimes... This is one of the times where I do feel like PC gaming can be good. Because, like, if you're smart with your... If you build balanced and you build good, you can get a lot for so little.
Yeah,
you know, this is probably better than all of his mates' PCs.
But then on the flip side, PS5 is £400, and it's like £400.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about this anymore. Yeah,
or it's like, or if you're feeling flush, you've got a PS5 Pro at 700.
Yeah,
and it's like, okay,
right. I don't think we've got graphics. Could you start grabbing the Radeon drivers for me, please? So originally when this thing booted up, we didn't seem to have graphics drivers. I don't know where the graphics driver has gone. But then on the other hand, oh wait. The graphics card is disabled?
No. It says there's an update available.
No.
Oh, what?
Why is...
Okay. Okay. Hold on. Hold on. I'm going to enable
Oh, did it just... Did you... No, yep. And it died again. Oh, no.
the graphics card?
Yeah, maybe the graphic... I don't know. I guess we're going back to the other SSD.
Yeah, because we haven't tested that with the other SSD.
So, okay, right. We also know this thing has like driver update 1 or some nonsense installed on it. There could be just a really wonky graphics driver that's trying to install itself on this. So we're going to go straight back to the known good SSD, and we're going to just actually make sure this GPU works. I think we had multiple issues here.
Yeah.
I think the CPU was a bit weird. Maybe reseating it helped. Maybe that was just a travel issue because computers don't like being moved around. But we definitely there's definitely something going on with the graphics drivers on this.
For sure, yeah.
DDU. Yeah, I think there is a world where we're probably going to DDU this. I think that's a good idea because we've got God knows what installed. However, also, I'm going to put in a known good Windows install and just make sure this graphics card actually works. Huh. Man, heckin' third act plot twist, man. Whoop. All right. Power up. This thing has like 2 wireless dongles. Okay.
Yes.
It spat out a bunch of beep codes at me. I think it's doing that because it had a hissy fit. The problem is that makes me believe that it's not driver related. I don't know, man. I think we might have... I think we do have a dodgy graphics card here. And I think we've just been having multiple issues with this thing.
Entirely possibly, maybe.
Yeah. Oh, that's a shame. I really thought we had it. That's going to be a bit depressing if it turns out that the GPU is cactus as well.
Yeah. We'll see.
Especially because I've got no warranty on that graphics card, so if the graphics card is dead, I've just got to get another graphics card for it. Thankfully, it's a 6700, so that's probably like £200 maybe, but sucks. Try the GPU on a second PC. That's not a bad shout. I'm kind of inclined to do that now, actually. Just throw it in another PC.
Put it in the one you took the 3060 out of.
Yeah, that's a good idea, because if we put it in another computer, completely different system, and it has kittens.
Not doing whatever it's doing.
Yeah, okay. Change the PC. Oh man, I thought we were there. I thought that was going to work, and like we were just going to be tidying up and then done. What a bummer, man.
Whack. Very bizarre. It's a shame because I like the Team Rocket cards.
Yeah, the one that it's the one that does the swastika if you point a fan at the if you point a camera at the fan while the R logo is spinning.
What?
Have you not seen that? At the right frame rate, if you spin the thing and the rolling shutter literally just the R turns into a swastika. I'm not even joking. I'm not even joking. It's so funny. It's so funny.
Oh dear.
Right, let's move you out the way. I'm just going to go and grab another PC.
I'm just going to sweep this off to the side. That's hilarious and awful. Is this a AM5 build?
Yeah, this is 7400F.
7400?
7500F, sorry.
Okay.
I always misspeak. Right. Put you in there.
I have the Corsair HX1000 that I bought during the time that power supplies were £12 a kilowatt.
Yeah.
Because, yeah.
Power supplies do have a decently long life, so like,
I was, at one point, running dual 3090s.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I don't recommend that people buy top-end power supplies to last forever kind of thing. It's kind of undeniable that if you buy a big boy power supply, there is a non-zero chance that it'll just see you for 10 years kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't know that I would recommend doing that, but they kind of do, you know. That much being said, though, I don't myself. What have I got in mind at the moment? I think I've got an RX 850 in mind.
I thought you had a RM 850.
RMX. Yeah, sorry. an RM 850. Yeah, I had an RM 1000 at one point, but it was giving me issues, and it's been sitting on my floor for like 3 years now. Actually, I think it has intermittent gremlins in it, where just like now and then it'll just cut out. But it's incredibly difficult to reproduce the problem. I was chasing faults with my PC for like 6 months.
Did you not say that you swapped it out because of coil whine, and the fault with it cutting out was actually the PCI to 12-pin cable?
That was also involved. Those were some of the leads that I was chasing at the time. However, also I'm fairly certain that after I replaced all of my modular cables...
is there a beep speaker in this?
There is not. After I replaced all of my modular cables, at some point I was like, I'll put the kilowatt power supply back in now that I've solved this. I think it did it again at some point. But
I see.
like I say, it's such an intermittent fault. It's so horrifying to reproduce that I've just never plugged in that power supply again.
Fair.
Which is a shame.
I mean, you might as well RMA it because it's got a 10-year warranty on it.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I might do that at some point then in that case.
Yeah.
It is currently propping up my router at home.
There is nothing wrong with the computer that is in this white case. We're using it as a test for the graphics card.
Yeah. And
the Radeon graphics card, which is the client's graphics card. The 3060, which is the tester graphics card.
And we are stuck on a VGA LED at the moment, so I will push reset.
It's dead.
Yeah, I think this GPU is cactus.
How to buy one off of Amazon?
By Amazon, we mean eBay. One long, two short, and we've still got a VGA LED. I'm guessing that beep code was a VGA error.
Yeah.
Yeah, this graphics card is cactus. That's a shame. Yeah, so it looks like this seems to be the source of our original problem that we started out with. However, somewhere along the way, the rest of the computer was being pissy for just other reasons as well.
Yeah.
So all of that kind of got ironed out or resolved just by reseating the CPU and stuff. Yeah. However, now we've gone back to the customer's GPU, we've come back to the original problem, which is that the GPU is shagged.
Yeah.
So yeah. It's a 6700 Psi. So yeah, it's not mega expensive. It's just expensive enough to be a shame because I'm going to have to foot the bill for a replacement. But it's not the end of the world. Okay. Right. Unfortunately, I don't have another. I mean, unless I give them the 3060. But yeah, I guess we'll have to pull up eBay and just see what things are. Let's have a look at eBay. Let's have a good old desktop capture on eBay, and let's browse around. Not ideal. Shame it's not a current card to do swaps. Yeah. Yeah. However, again though, at least it's on the lower end. If it was a 6800, that would be more of a bummer.
Ah!
Build the scene.
Why is Chrome not on there?
Just switch to something else and then back again. Oh no, it's still not working.
What? One moment. What's going on there?
For the GPU loss fund, thanks for the €10, Selfman. I appreciate it.
What's going on there?
Oh, our Chrome capture apparently is not working. Window capture.
Window capture.
Yeah, just add a new one. Just for,
Add a new one.
Yeah.
Select the window.
Nope, still not. Okay, cancel that. Just use desktop capture in that case.
What?
Yeah, like. Yeah. That should work. It's messy, but it works.
AMD 6700.
All right. Was this an XT? Yes, it's a 6700 XT. Was there a 6700 vanilla?
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think so. 250? No, they're not worth that. You can get 6800s for that money. Because also, I would wager that that 3060 12 gig will give this thing a bloody nose. Ooh, what was that 156 one? A bit up.
Bids.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah.
So yeah, you might be able to snipe something, but yeah. Yeah, it looks like 250, 260.
Gross. How does the 3060 fare against it first? Let's just do the old tech power up check, just to find out if the 3060 is actually a viable option.
How much is 6800s?
About the same last time I checked.
Basically the same price. So
Yeah.
yeah, you would replace it with a 6800.
Yeah, yeah, okay,
for
yeah,
that.
yeah.
However,
yeah, because like a 3060 12 gig is like £200.
3060
So like,
12 gigabyte.
if the 3060 12 gig can punch a 6700 in the face, then this isn't even a question.
6700 is approximately 30% faster.
Oh, okay, yeah, it is. That's more than I expected. Damn. Yeah, I might have to do some bid sniping
Yeah.
because those prices kind of suck.
Yeah, you'd have to go up to a 3060 Ti to get the performance about the same, but then the
Should we
VRAM
see
becomes a
eBay?
problem.
Yeah, you should be seeing eBay.
I
You
think
guys
Chrome's in some weird state where it can't be captured.
Oh, you're on studio mode. Yeah, sorry folks,
Oh.
we're in studio mode. Yeah, now go to desktop capture. There you go. All right.
Oh yes, there you go. There you go. No.
Flailing wildly. All right, there we go. Okay. Yeah, okay, 6700 pricing kind of sucks. Let's just were you on price lowest first?
No, I was.
Yeah,
just
let's actually narrow it down. Let's do buy it now, price
Yeah.
lowest person packaging first. Because don't forget, search sucks, so you have to actually spoon feed it. Yeah, let's actually put in the parameters as if we're actually going to buy. And then, yeah, buy it now. Yeah, £250 is the cheapest one.
Yeah.
That's nuts, man. It's not worth that. 220, 230, and we'll talk. 250 and up, no. Oh yeah, 6800s have crept up. Oh, just prices have crept up in general.
Yeah.
Yeah, last 6800s, I was buying 6800s for like 240 to 250 pounds last year. So that's really depressing. 7600 XT. Yeah, what do we got for 7600s? Because like on the tech power up chart, that 7600 was relevant to this, wasn't it? I think maybe you should reboot Chrome. I think Chrome might be leaking memory like a bath without a plug.
I can offer you a 1660.
Wow.
The answer is no. The results are 6800s only.
Yeah. Yeah, 7000 series just hasn't really hit the second-hand market. Everyone's just still using them. Right, we are rebooting Chrome because it seems to have fallen over and died. When did I sell this PC? 8 months ago, something like 10 months ago, something like that.
I think it might just be the keyboard.
Oh, okay. I'm going to grab another pair of batteries for the keyboard. I can't remember when we last replaced the batteries in that guy. Oh, wait, does that guy take double or triple A's? I think that's triple A's, that one.
Triple A's.
I thought we replaced those recently, but then they are triple A's. And triple A's are kind of lame.
GP used.
There you go.
Not heard of it. We shall see.
RMA GPU. Who am I going to RMA it to? An eBay seller who sold it to me nearly a year ago. What do you think they're going to say? That's the problem with trading in second-hand parts. Is yeah, unfortunately sometimes you lose. So
I lack the nail to get that out.
Give it to me. That was a bit awkward. Oops, I just slapped my microphone. Sorry, folks.
I will remove you, boff.
I will find the multimeter and just check if these batteries are actually flat. I thought we changed these recently, but then maybe my definition of recent was like a year ago, in which case it's like, oh, okay, I guess it's that time, eh, chaps? Yeah, it's like 1.6 volts. Yeah, I think something odd is happening. It might be the two mobile phones that are directly next to the receiver, but yeah, we'll see. I'll put these back in the box.
Where is the receiver? Oh, it's there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, that's the double A's. I'm going to stick these back in the box because I think they're still fresh. All right. Okay. All right. So yeah, 7000 series is a no. 6000 series. I think I'm going to have to try and snipe us. I think I'm going to have to just try and snipe one that's on bidding. I think that's the only way we're going to get one at a good price because the buy it now prices just kind of suck. Oh yeah, Scotty Doggy says RX 7600 XT will get results. They're going from 230 to 280. Oh, okay, 230 we're talking.
Price, lowest price. Don't seem to be any.
Yeah, what was that one near the top? 181. Oh, that's bids. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to take the quotes off of it, or yeah, just in case that's. And also, specifically, it was RX space 7600 XT. The keyboard is giving us grief. I'm not sure why. Could you just move your phones? Your dual phones, your dual wielding phones. I'm not saying it was your phones, but I think it was your phones. Okay, no difference. Yeah, no, we're still getting crap. Yeah, 280 minimum price. You hit the sold button for price guide. Oh, okay, yeah, but that's what's sold. That doesn't tell us what's available though. I do agree when figuring out what the value of a card is, you look at sold. But if you want to know what you can actually buy one at, I want to buy one, so the sold ones aren't a lot of use to me.
Do you want a broken one?
Not really. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to bid on one to get one at a decent price. GPU used has a couple of cheap ones apparently. What is Yeah, I'm not familiar with them. God, what is... We don't normally have issues with this keyboard, so I don't know why it's being pissy with us today. Welcome to GPU used. I see. March Mayhem sale.
Buy. Excuse me?
A 9070...
Oh wait, that's a computer.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Just the picture isn't there.
Yeah. For a moment, it looked like they were selling a 9070 XT for $2,000. It's like, come again.
Oh, search. 6700 XT. Excellent. Those are quadros.
Yeah, that gives us quadros.
These are still quadros. More quadros. Oh, there we go.
Okay. 260, 270. These are just eBay prices.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, these are just eBay pricing.
What, Asus, why? Why did you make a closed loop cool 6800 XT?
Don't get distracted.
Why?
The important thing is it's £450, and who the hell is paying that? So yeah.
Oh, that's... I could understand if it was a 6950 XTX.
Yeah.
Like, that would make sense, but no.
No, I'm going to have to bid. I will just simply bid. 3070 is 8 gigs. No bueno. 8 gig GPU is no bueno. Dead on arrival.
3070 Ti?
Did the Ti have more memory on it?
3070 Ti. Specs.
No, it's 8 gigs.
Ah!
Yeah. DOA.
I thought the Ti was 12. Okay. Was that the Ti Super or whatever the fuck it was? I don't know. I give up with understanding.
Yeah. Yep. Might have mentioned the above 8 gig before now. I thought it went without saying, to be honest. Like, yeah, it's no secret that 8 gig GPUs are no bueno. Like, yeah, just do not.
Is that a graphics card that actually exists? The 3070 Ti Super is a card that exists?
I don't know.
No, I don't think so.
The Ti just has faster RAM, yeah. Which does help, I think. Yeah.
Or was it? Oh, it was the 4070 Ti Super. Maybe. I don't know.
Probably. I'm over it. I'm going to have to scour eBay over the weekend.
Yes.
Yeah, I will scour eBay over the weekend. Okay, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Right, I'm going to put this back together again. What's the timer on? Because I reckon we're wildly over time at the moment.
3 hours.
Yeah.
Precisely.
I'm bored. I'm going to put this thing back together again.
Basecamp.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a shame the 3060 doesn't go toe-to-toe with the 6700 XT. I thought it did. Oh, they're from the same generation, though, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the 60 is obviously one lower. Effectively. Because the 3060 would be against the 6600.
Yes, yeah, precisely. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's a bummer, man.
Yeah. If there were a 3060 Ti 16 gigabyte, that would be relevant. But there isn't, sadly.
Yeah. I think maybe this GPU's history has just caught up with it because it is ragged as heck. Oh yeah, it had that bent connector on it as well. I remember this one. Not gonna lie, like this GPU was sketchy when I bought it. You know, like yeah. I should have sent it back when it originally showed up. I took it out of the box. I was like, oh, and I should have sent it back. I guess that's what I get.
Is that a GPU that exists?
What are you looking at?
eBay search!
Oh, I see, yeah.
Oh my god, eBay search!
Search is just terrible now. You've searched for 4060 Ti 16 gig and the top results are AMD cards. That's not what I searched for. What are you doing? You know. So yeah.
I want to know if it's a GPU that exists. I want to know if it's real. And unfortunately, the top two results were AI-generated websites.
Yeah. I feel like you should be able to double check the purchase date on that PC and see if you sold it as
16.
As used parts, etc.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, like I bought this CPU sometime last year, definitely over 6 months ago, I think. Like there's no warranty on this. It was an eBay graphics card that I bought months and months ago. Like we can look up the date, but like, yeah, no, there's no warranty on this. It was sold as seen, you know. So I don't know how that makes a difference. Unfortunately, this is just when you sell a computer with second-hand parts in it, you do run the risk that you will have to foot the bill on some of those parts. And this is one of those times where just unfortunately, yeah, I've got to foot the bill on that. But I'll take that on the chin because that was the risk I took. No, the PC sale. I don't understand what you're getting at, Si. Oh, are you saying that the PC is no longer under warranty? Yeah, okay, yeah, I see what you're saying there. I should, yeah, I need to check. Yeah, I need to check what, yeah, I see what you mean. I need to check when the PC was sold because I might not have an obligation to foot the bill because it's out of warranty. Yeah, that's a fair thing. So, yeah.
Where are you seeing that, Mike?
Yeah, is that an eBay one, Mike? If so, drop the eBay item number into chat. On eBay, you can grab the item number, not the link, just the item number, which you can search for. Okay, you're saying done, but I'm not seeing an eBay number. Not into Discord, into chat, just the eBay item number.
Just the string of numbers.
Stream bid sniper ready and loaded. Yeah. Yeah, if there's no obligation, I'm still trying. Yeah, that's a good point, Si. I definitely see where you're coming from. You
might have to turn around and kind of go, it's out of warranty. However, I'm only going to charge you the increase in price that has occurred.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah, like if the computer is like, trying to remember whatever. Let's pretend it's over a year old, just to, if it's over a year old, then I'll probably turn around and say I'll just do it parts cost only kind of thing. So yeah. But whatever. Yeah. But you'll see. Do good to the customer and you'll be, yeah, absolutely. I do try and help out the customer, but obviously there's limits to that, Yeah. How much money are you going to eat?
Yeah.
So yeah. All right. Okay. I think we're done in that case. I'm not seeing an eBay item number, and we didn't see it on search. However, as I say, over the weekend I'll have a look around to see what I can find. Because there were a couple that were going on. There were a couple that were going on bidding. And I'm sure if I go into a bidding war, I can probably find one at below the rail.
Yeah.
What? The eBay item number, not a link, just a number. Not a link, just a number. A number won't be blocked.
Anyway.
Yeah. Or at least I'm 99% certain a number won't be blocked anyway. But yes, the number is also blocked. Whack. Oh well, I'll see it when I go looking at the weekend. So yeah. All right. Thank you everyone for tuning in. A disappointing result. I thought we had that fixed, but still kind of interesting, I guess. Right. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Next week, no show. Because oh no, I was going to... There might be a show next week. I haven't decided yet. Caradog, you're away for the next 3 weeks?
Yes. Functionally, yes.
Yeah. Caradog is away for the next 3 weeks, and either next week or the week after, I'm going to take a Saturday off, so there'll be no show full stop. There might be a show next Saturday, or I might have taken the day off. I will let you guys know at the time.
4 weeks. 21st until the 11th.
4 weeks. Wow. No Caradog.
Womp womp.
Can't believe this. How will we survive? Anyway, thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you soon. You've enjoyed this stream in shame. Yeah, big shame.
Au revoir.
Yeah, goodbye everyone. Doodles.
Bye.
Bye.